VESL is definitely one of the most fun things I've experienced throughout my high school career.
It gets you more involved with the school, leads to new friendships.
The atmosphere is amazing.
I was never going to be able to afford college on its own, and esports for me was the way I actually got to go and get higher education.
This is something that I can really excel in. I'm kind of suited for it. It's felt good, and it's made me way more confident in my own abilities.
I would consider this my friend group now. That's how close we've become all throughout VESL.
One of them actually got recruited. They're going to be playing together in college next year. That's awesome to see those connections. Because VESL covers so much of the cost of all these things, it's accessible to all of them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 5 of Thursday Night Lights. I'm still Septilence, joined this week by Time to Light. We're going to be jumping into the favorite games you guys know and love. We've got Valorant, we've got Marvel Rivals, we've got Brawlhalla, we've got drone rivalries, but maybe not as many drones this week as you'd be expecting. But before we get into all of that, TTL, how you doing, man? How's your day been?
Happy to be back. It's another week of the Thursday Night Lights. I always look forward to these because I like to see some new types of games, sometimes new types of ways to play Marvel Rivals, because this is my weekly or bi-weekly insight into how the high school Marvel Rivals scene is going outside of collegiate and like the low semi-pro. So it's always nice to see a breath of fresh air between these teams.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're going to be getting quite a few breaths of fresh air today. We've got a lot of great things coming at you guys. As we mentioned, we are going to be seeing those games. We're going to be seeing the drone rivalries changed up a wee bit. Some more information on that in just a couple of minutes here. But also, we've got more giveaways this week. If you guys were here last week, you saw the giveaways that we talked about. We had 7 of them in total. And I've got good news for you guys. We don't have 5 or 6 this week. It's 7 again. So 7 giveaways between a lot of the games. We've got one at the very end as well. So if you want to be eligible, if you want to be a part of that, stick around because they will all be announced on stream tonight.
Yeah, we've got a lot looking forward to, not only in today's broadcast, but across most of the rest of this VESL season as well. We've seen a lot of drone rivalries. We can take a look at our RoboCar brackets to see what we'll see, at least a little bit later on. Now, we're not kicking off RoboCars today. Today, with drone rivalries, is RoboCars. Long story short, it's shuffleboard, but coded to cars. It's amazing. I love it. We saw a little bit of a sneak peek earlier. These are your 2 brackets. We've seen a couple of these teams already. Ardrey Kell once more, the Esports legends, Philip O'Barry. A lot of recognizable names here, Seth.
Yeah, without a doubt, especially as we've gotten further into these rivalries, through drone rivalries, into RoboCar rivalries, a lot of the same schools tend to be really leaning into the STEM side of things, the programming and the coding, so these familiar faces will just become more so of that as we extend deeper into these weeks. Of course, everybody looking for an opportunity to qualify for states, which we talked and revealed last week. Hail Monkey Man and myself had the opportunity to tell you guys that states is going to be happening in Charlotte, North Carolina, May 17th and 18th. We're going to be having Mario Kart, 2K, Brawlhalla, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, Valorant. On top of that, I believe there's going to be some more STEM stuff as well. Drones, robotic car races, cybersecurity, content creation, and data analytics. All the stuff you guys have been working on all season long. So that is very exciting as well.
I'll be honest, I'm just going to be hanging around the cybersecurity booth because I got a certification in that like 3 or 4 years ago and haven't kept up on it since then. So
and all be at the Mario Kart booth.
Yeah, as you
so
should. As you
equally important things that we're both very good at. But I mean, I love it. I think it's going to be a super exciting States event. I hope everybody's really excited because I know that we are excited to see who can make it to States and how well they're going to be able to perform when we get there. We've got Valorant coming up in just a minute. Before we do, guys, I just mentioned giveaways a second ago. What if we just do one right now? What if we just knock one out of the park very quickly and we announce our first giveaway winner?
First giveaway winner.
Penta 6979. First of 7 tonight. So, of course, you can't re-qualify. You win one, that's going to be it. But you did win the very first one. So, congratulations to Penta6979 for being our first of 7 giveaway winners.
It's slightly unfair to everybody else who may be waiting for later because Penta6979 is like, wait, I've got it. I can go escape. Don't escape.
I can go do whatever.
We've got 3 full titles of games in front of us. We've got 3 separate Brawlhalla best of 3s. We've got a Valorant best of 1, and we've got a best of 3 for Marvel Rivals. It's Valorant, Brawlhalla, then drone rivalries before Brawlhalla, and then Marvel Rivals at the end. Yes. Rivalries and rivals always throws me off. I want to make sure I'm saying that right.
I agree. I've definitely had the same verbal slip-ups before because it's like Marvel Rivals, drone rivalries, and now there's RoboCar rivalry. Well, figure that's an us problem more than it is you guys' problem. You guys are here for some Valorant, so I think our players are ready, and I'm very excited to see who we're going to be seeing go head-to-head here tonight in our first matchup, a Valorant best of 1.
Lotus is our first map to kick things away. I always love bringing up some of the agent statistics when we have the agent select.
Of course.
But it always becomes kind of null and void because at the high school level, if your aim's good enough, you can really pick whoever the heck you feel like. For instance, the Reyna that's being hovered by a random kid 69 at any semi-pro or pro level in the last 90 days, Reyna has been picked a total of 798 times, and you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, that may be a lot." That is 1.8% of the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a lot until you really think about how many games of Valorant are played and how many opportunities she would have to be chosen. To only be chosen at such a small caliber, it definitely goes to show that she's not as viable as she used to be. I wouldn't be surprised to see a random kid end up on a duelist. It's weird to see the Phoenix hover, but I expect the Jet lock in more than anything else.
Phoenix is 4 times less likely than Arena, 0.44%.
That's great. Yep, I'm a
Jet,
genius.
a little less unlikely. We'll say 7% there. Chamber is a duelist, so it's a double duelist. I don't care what anybody says. Chamber is a duelist, will forever be a duelist. I've said this since Chamber was released, and A Evil Cat agreed with me a week after I originally started saying it, so I feel vindicated and have since beta. Thank you very much for coming to my
That's
TED.
like having your thesis paper approved. Like, that's basically the same. That's the same concept.
Yeah. I will ride that forever, by the way.
Yeah,
Not very...
I think you bring up a good point here, though, that I do want to highlight, of being in high school and just getting to play whatever you want. Because there really is that level of, if your rank is high enough at the Scholastic level, you really can just lock an agent you love and tear the battlefield apart.
Yeah, that'll continue to be the case for these players, even if they go into the college level, until you get into really CVAL or like playoff levels for a lot of these collegiate conferences. Because sometimes just being better at the game is the difference maker. I think it was brought up very wisely by Bren. It is a first-person shooter. If you shoot, you die, or if you don't shoot, you die. It comes down to success.
Hey, it's a first-person shooter where you need to be the first person to shoot. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be that higher caliber. You've got to have that higher skill level in the game. And going into Lotus here, our game just now getting ready to kick off. I don't even know if we've said the names of the teams quite yet. Palisades White versus Lexington SR High Orange. So going head-to-head here, it's going to be Lexington on the attacking side. And I've got to say, that's going to work well for them. The double duelist, they've got the smokes and the flashes as well. This is a very attacker-sided team composition.
Yeah, and looking at their composition as well, it looks good for a map like Lotus. The deadlock, I feel like, is a slight anomaly, but is not the most absurd selection even in this game. So keep that in mind. Omen's good, Breach is good. Those are the top 2 most selected agents on Lotus right now. Raze is actually 3rd. So of your 5 agents, 81%, 64%, 57 in that order.
That is actually very surprising. I expected Jet to be up there for sure, but I'm surprised that Raze kind of has her beat. Raze, of course, my favorite agent in the entire game, so I'm excited to see some Raze gameplay here today. It's going to be an aggressive push onto the A side with just Danny able to find that first blood. Lexington gives themselves a 5-4 advantage, which is going to be great because it's a mechanical level playing field right now, and as Danny just tries to go for an early elimination, this is going to be a strong showing of Lexington's speed and dominance that I think we're going to see every single attacking round.
And Lexington Senior High just taking that speed. They're making sure they push the issue on a Jet that had already used the dash to get out. I like the decision to try and use the overheal early here in the pistol round, but taking too many fights at the same time. Easy kill there. And Jawan trying to run around the backside of the site, walks straight through where the spike is already planted and gets caught by the trip. Somehow doesn't immediately even take damage with a double tap available, but has no idea where either of their opponents have gone. And just Danny goes skeet shooting with a sheriff. Talk about precise aim. Nice opening there.
4 players on the board, and it was just Danny, right? Like, it's Asparagus able to find 1 there, which is the opportunity they're looking for at a time like that. But all things considered, I think just Danny really comes out of the gate strong, a very impressive showing to kick things off. However, it's a pistol round, right? We got to see that kind of performance in later matchups, in later rounds. If they can keep up that, Lexington should have this game in the bag pretty handedly.
And it's also down to, maybe it was just the pistol round. Round 2 probably won't tell us that that's an anomaly. We'll wait for round 3. Probably. I have to really get that information fleshed out. I always love watching pistol rounds and saying, oh yeah, this can tell us this, and this, when in all reality it's a pistol round. Somebody could ace and find 3 kills the rest of the game. It's entirely likely that this is just an anomaly, but an opening kill for a random kid makes it a reasonable second round for Palisades White. The less players in the opposing side when you're playing on an eco, the more likely you are to bring it back.
Oh! Silo able to find 1 there, give Lexington Senior High that 1-player advantage they were looking for. Juwan able to find an elimination early on, but the wide swing in the corner. And the right click of disaster. Lexington Senior High able to find that second round, only losing 2 players in the process.
Classic is still a free gun, by the way. Just want to put that in the back pocket of mind. 4-piece for Ant, 4-piece for Just Danny. Seems like some individual skills already popping off. Now, Palisades White hasn't gone through these first 2 rounds without finding kills either. I mean, you've got 5 kills across the team, and nobody's made any real mistakes. The only one I could really identify is a random kid in both rounds, honestly, getting a little out in the open without much help. Tree back in round 1, the front of C Mound in round 2, kind of just unfortunate they were caught out in multiple player versus 1 scenarios. However, it's not the end of the world for him. Here's that bonus round that Palisades White can bring it back.
Double blast pack in, stinger in hand. So again, Lexington trying to play that level of hyper dominance, hyper aggression that I talked about. And I think you have to, the team composition they've brought to the table. Inumaki has
Did it
no
miss?
idea how close they were to the end of the disaster. Spike plant already down, though. It's going to force Palisades to really get aggressive if they want to try to take the series back. And I don't know if they're going to be able to as they really, like dominoes, begin to fall 2-0 in favor of Lexington. And unless, yep, Random Kid absolutely pops off, this will be a win for Lexington once again. A quick one at that.
What a near sight from Neo. Neo, while the smoke was dissipating, throws in the paranoia. And Inumaki's like, wait, that smoke's still up? I thought it dissipated. Nope, it was just the fact you couldn't see more than 4 meters. And an unfortunate kill. Neo finds a free one there, and it's based off their own utility usage. That's the greatest way of playing, is throwing so much utility at the opponent they can't handle anything more. And at this point, Palisades White, I mean, on the defensive side, this is not a round you're supposed to win. Lords of whatever has the Outlaw. It's Sheriffs and a Classic, not a great purchase.
Yeah, definitely not a strong purchase here. You lose 3 rounds in a row. Oh! Okay. Lord of whatever, my favorite gun in the game, gets a little bit of showcasing there. The Outlaw finds one, Random Kid onto another, into a third here, living way too long with that level of hyper-aggression, but Lexington perhaps just getting a wee bit too comfortable in their performance.
What?
The turnaround from Lexington, though, it's going to be a double wide swing.
Why are they all swinging? Everyone's still swinging.
One at a
Inumaki was
time,
kind
which
of
is the worst
isolated.
part.
Outlaw hit one shot. Low HP there for the Jet, who gets taken out by the Classic. Headshot required. Again, overzealous for Palisades White. They had, what, 3 of the opening 4 kills of the round and lose a 4 versus 2. I mean, yeah, better weapons, but it wasn't that much better.
Yeah, better weapons, but not better enough to have done that. I think that is really just a little bit of panic of, oh my goodness, it worked, and then they didn't know what to do next off the back of that. It's going to be a 4th round in a row now for Lexington. If Palisades want to turn this around, they're certainly running out of time to be able to do so.
This is the round that's basically a must-win for them. Going on the defensive side of Lotus is not easy. Doing so with a Chamber Jet combo is even less so. Jawan stays alive through that opening fight, but taken out. And they would have been stunned if they over-aggressed, couldn't get under-aggressive because they would have been stuck in a corner, stuck between a rock, a hard place, and a couple bullets. Never a great place.
Bad place to be for sure. And I'd never want to be between a rock and a couple of bullets. Plant coming down quick. I'm really surprised Asparagus gets taken out by that, but Ant is going to be able to find the trade pretty early on. Makes it a 4-3 in favor of Lexington once more. They're able to find some really dominant early aggression. Oh, Random Kid biffs every knife on the board and is going to end up costing them quite dramatically. 4v1 and with an Odin in the pocket. I'm not really sure what best case scenario is right now.
Save. Best case scenario is save. You're in a 1 versus 4.
You're right. You're right.
The only reason you take any fight is to get the Thrash. Now that you have the Thrash, it should have been, oh, I've gotten a kill. Let's get out because I'm in a 1 versus 3 and I don't know where the spike's planted. But that wasn't the case. So at the end of the day, it's Lexington Senior High with 5 consecutive rounds, and basically everybody's getting involved. Look at the kill totals. I don't have to over-explain that one to you. The only player who's not really getting involved is Neo, and that's because they're playing a controller role, and everybody on their team's really mean and taking all the kills.
It's really mean. I like the way you put that. Everybody's really mean to me.
When I'm playing, I only don't have kills because everyone's taking all the gunfights.
Yeah, that's the only reason I bottom frag. It's everybody else's fault. It's not my fault. It's that
What I've been saying since I started playing first-person shooters.
That's what I've been saying since I stopped.
Usually, it's everybody else's fault on the other team because they keep killing me. That's really rude, but it's kind of part of the game, I guess. Jokes aside, Showstopper straight in, finds the opening. 1-for-1 trade is okay here. I'm surprised Random Kid isn't the one targeted by that Showstopper. A couple of dashes away at least keeps them alive. Random Kid around the corner, a team flash, and somehow still alive. Down Norlet drop. They finally get dropped themselves. They find a couple kills before that happens, and T-Hoot walking through with a Bucky. Talk about a shotgun to the head. That finds at least one. They try and drop the Annihilation, and they're successful. So 3 players stay alive, and they're on the board.
Yeah, and hey, we've got one on the board. This is phenomenal. This is exactly what we needed at a time like this. Things were really starting a bit rough for the Palisades, but we haven't seen Lexington tip over that 6 scale yet, which is what I talk about so often. You want to, if you can find 6 rounds or more, you can put yourselves into a winning position going into the second half. The Palisades losing 5, finally stabilizing and actually getting weapons to do so. I think this round's even more important than the round win they put on the board, because if they lose this, momentum ripped away from them just as quickly as they gained it.
Now, they're all ultimates available. However, 2 of those 3 ultimates available for Lexington Senior High are fairly useless. I mean, Blade Storm just for efficacy, sure, but that's mostly used in Eco. And you've got From the Shadows, which on this map of all of them would be very helpful. However, that Rolling Thunder can be deadly on a site like A, where there's already 2 people on it, a third entering there from heaven. There is a flank coming through, but it is being covered, courtesy of that deadlock. Fragility lands, but not to any further avail, and they drop the flank. Random Kid gets a little over-aggressive and dies immediately. And they're going to use it From the Shadows. This is the one map you want to use that on. They escape all the way over to C, and they're going to break through without the spike in tow. It's perfect. They get the spike plant. Will the deadlock end up surviving through this? That's the real question. Fault line will land. No! But no, just Danny runs out of ammo. What a kill. That's disastrous.
Danny, you gotta keep an eye on your ammunition. Oh my goodness, I thought that was a shoo-in to be an elimination there. Ant able to find a kill early. Lexington 3-2 on the board. 2-2 on the board.
They've got Thrash as well. Wait a second. What?
Oh, dude, this is gonna be it. I said this round more important than any other round we've seen so
Neo
far.
got.
They're helping me prove that in tropes here. Oh! Neo got, but got the one who got him.
He lived!
No,
Wait a second.
He's out of time. He's out of time regardless.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's a clean
Lord
wipe.
of whatever. I don't know how you don't stick the spike there to at least half.
I agree.
You're not going to hear a sound cue of him hopping on the spike. Maybe you've got a chance at that, but that's... I can't believe Neo not only wins the fight, which probably shouldn't have happened, but as soon as Neo's pulled into that dimensional divide, you should immediately either A, hop on the spike, or B, completely surround them. It took a little too long to initiate the retake.
Yeah, just a beautiful performance through and through thus far. I think Palisades had a lot of the right pieces, but unfortunately it's that execution that's going to fall a wee bit short for them on the board. Lexington 6-1. They got that mythical 6 that I was just talking about a moment earlier of, you know, now if you could lose every single round for the rest of this half and still go in at a tie. So if Lexington can get even one more win going into this next round, they've got a 1-round advantage at least.
Let's talk about that Rolling Thunder as well. Heading onto this site could be that difference maker. Now, good rendezvous at least allows them to get away and keep some damage done, but they're not really doing anything to deny the spike plant. Thrash is being initiated, but it's really late here. It should be telegraphed. It is indeed. Only one player seen off the back of it, and they're completely shut down by the grab net that finds 2, at least not 3 players. 1-for-1, make it 2-for-1 trade here for Senior High, and it's just working so much better for Lexington TU. Makes so much noise, but still wins the fight. Inumaki with one of their own.
Rolling Thunder, rip it, rip it.
Where's the
yes!
I think he's gonna get it to half.
He got it to half. He absolutely got half. There's one. Oh, and he sticks it.
Stuck it.
Pros don't fake, as they say, and Palisades able to sneak out a second-round win. Ant did everything right, but unfortunately, time just not in their favor is going to cost them a round going into round 9 of the first half.
I can't believe that Rolling Thunder was not put out immediately. There was, what, 2 seconds between the tap and the Rolling Thunder even being initiated?
At least.
Because of how long it takes to get over there, you give up a half, at least the way to get it to half, but I'm surprised you don't rush it immediately thereafter. And you get stunned out yourself. Bad to worse there for Lexington Senior High. Yeah, they're winning 6-2, but you could have had a lot more out of that.
You absolutely could have had a lot more out of that on the board, and it's another essential clean wipe. The economy has to go all the way through. A great rendezvous from T. Oh, still puts one down. You want to play? Swing A. Let's find out who walks away. Just Danny falls early. Palisades white. That's an advantage I think they're really going to appreciate. But Lexington, they're back to their own default of pushing the A site, and I think Palisades is a little too used to this game. Unless I'm immediately proven wrong.
Good swing for Ant. Gets headshot by Inumaki. What gun did they have? That feels like a Bulldog headshot, if anything.
Bulldog, maybe Stinger?
From that distance, had to be something similar. Getting over Zealous here with the Headhunter in hand. 3 picks for Ant.
Moment.
Yeah, that's a problem. And now Random Kid basically alone on A. What are they doing here? How does Random Kid not get cleared?
Oh! Asparagus, what? That's fine. Sorry. It's fine. It's cool. Everything's all right. I'm fine.
Where are they going? Are they going to C now? If anything,
they are. I think they're hard rushing. Uh-oh, check this out, though. Nobody's watching the back line. There it is. Lord swings out, gets that pick early. Nobody watching their backside. Ant, last one standing again. 28 HP. You got to save the rifle.
Nope, no chance of winning that. Even with the
genuinely zero. Needed to try and save that rifle.
Yeah, at that point, you know you're against the wingman as well basically makes it a still 2v1 fight, even with somebody defusing, somebody being the wingman. It's just a done deal. Palisades White, really good retake there. Lord of Whatever finds 2 kills with the Judge. Technically a third at the end, but I'll give that one to Wingman on the assist. All in all, that one looked really clean for Lexington Senior High.
Cleanest so far.
Till they got overzealous towards B. I don't know why you don't just rush A, knowing there's probably 1 person remaining, if not 2. I'd take the devil you know versus the devil you don't. I'll be honest.
It definitely screams to me that nobody's head counting. They did not. They knew they got a couple of eliminations. They were not paying attention to how many. They assumed that they had gotten enough, and they moved away. 2 players get eliminated for it. They end up losing the round off the back of their own hubris. It's definitely going to be disastrous moving into the latter halves of the rounds, or of the half, excuse me. And I do think that we're going to be seeing a little bit of repercussion of that action. Fault line goes up, a wide swing out, but a shotgun. You don't need to aim to use it at 3 feet away. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Neo needs to find at least 1 more pick, though, and with the help of Silo, is going to be able to do that. Still, the numbers disadvantage has been ripped away. Tia is getting warmed up.
I use From the Shadows right now. Neo needs to get out. That seems to be the case. They've got the spike. This is going to be the similar round to what we saw a couple rounds ago. But it will be the true 1v3. Now, at this point, there's no ultimates against them. It is their entire kit versus a couple separate pieces of utility for Lexington Senior High. Sides have swapped, by the way. They fooled us during Agent Select. So Palisades White is the team that has been leading for the majority, if not the entirety of this game. But Neo's getting baited here, and it's working. 2 players just walking in from CT. Neo has to smoke that side off, but now has to worry about their backside. 1 kill high, can't even find that. Great double swing from 2 completely separate vertical angles. And it is Lexington Senior High to pick up the round. What we thought they had 6, instead it's 4. They're still bringing it back.
This does make more sense to me because, like, 4 rounds ago, I had the thought of, like, Palisades is a very talented program. I'm surprised to see that they'd be struggling on a map as kind of consistently played as Lotus. This does make a little bit more sense, and I do think it's just a matter of time in terms of warming up. I think the point does still stand that I made towards Palisades with the players T-Yut finding 7 eliminations total, 4 of them in the last 3 rounds. So very much coming out of their shell a little bit, able to use that, not showstopper, excuse me, I can't, tour de force. And I think Lexington, there's a very likely chance they take this 6-6 into the second half.
One of my favorite stats about Lotus is the average spike time plant across multiple maps. Now, for Lotus, it's 52 seconds, which in a minute and 45-second round or so would tell you it happens just inside a minute. Here, Palisades White has just been sending it the majority of these rounds. That time, they get overzealous. Random kid doesn't get cleared from the corner, just cooks down 2, does get dropped by Just Annie, and a showstopper finds a return. Wait a second. Now it's a 3v3. Spike has been planted, and the Bladestorm is still available, I might add. Neo, just swinging a corner without a care in the world, takes full advantage of the Stinger fire rate, and Danny finds a double. Jawan in a 1 versus 3. Judge in their hand for the 2nd consecutive round. That one's unsuccessful. Palisades White will confirm the lead at the half at bare minimum.
Random is getting away with so much. 10 eliminations on the board. I'll say at least 4 of them coming out of people just not checking corners. Just not swinging when they need to be, just not turning around when they wide swing a corner. And I mean, it is a very impressive performance thus far on the board from Random Kid, but they are going into the second half with a disadvantage regardless of performance from here on out. And I think that's definitely going to weigh on the mind a little bit of what exactly they're going to be able to do.
So with Lexington Senior High, they've got guns available for everybody. There's an outlaw and an operator in this round. First time we're seeing double scoped weapons for Lexington Senior High.
I love the operator.
Now, T does play front of mound again. We've seen this position played before.
Nope.
They had the drop, but they didn't have the kill. Bunch of body shots cost them their life. Oh, and Silo finds 1 on A. The only player on A. Now, both C and A are available. They will choose the one where they have more players already available at.
The Rolling Thunder out early, going to be out to a whole lot of nobody. Random is in the back, not going to be caught out by that flash. So I think throwing up the Cyber Cage here makes a lot of sense. Could be a gateway coming through as well. Asparagus, I think, going to get caught, just not paying attention on the corner. No way, what are we doing?
Easy kill on Inumaki. That should find the finish on the Annihilation. Re-swing back. That's it.
So much time to react, and they just didn't. Lexington just stood there. They heard the utility coming out. They knew the rifle was away, and they just stood there and let Asparagus drop a 3 on the board. Palisades taking us 8-4 going into the second half. This could have been a 6-6. This absolutely could have been a 6-6.
100%, and it's more important that those 2 rounds happen at the very end of the half rather than much earlier. Now Lexington
100%.
Senior High, they had 3 rounds in a row. They had 4 of 5. but giving up the last two, and arguably both of them being gun rounds that they could have picked up otherwise. Instead, now it's Palisades going into the second half pistol, which, by the way, I'll go back to statistics for maybe the second to last time today. 48.71% defensive pistol round win rate, which is the third lowest in the active competitive pool for defenders. All in all, if I am looking at this from Palisades, if I win this pistol round, it is a dream finish. Because I've already won the pistol round I'm supposed to, that being the attacking. We saw that in the first half. However, if you win this, you can really start to run away with the game, and Lexington may not have a way back in. That's a good start.
Oh, that's a beautiful start. Neo able to find an elimination out the gate. Random Kid on the follow-up here. Lexington, they're going to be able to take the numbers just in time for Danny to swing around the corner. One jet dismisses another, and that really puts some pressure on the remaining players of Palisades. Only two left, and they are both hurt. Only one left, and they are hurt. Only none left. And that is Lexington coming out strong with our secondary pistol round.
The best thing that we're seeing from Lexington is taking advantage of their agent ability kit. We already saw a spike plant from Wingman in the pistol round. What we saw on the defensive side is when there was a Wingman available, when Lord of Whatever was alive in retakes, sometimes we saw it picked up. Lord of Whatever wasn't really playing retake most of the time, though, so we didn't see it as much. Here for Lexington Senior High, it is take advantage of basically an extra player for a temporary period of time. Get the spike plant down without having to lose a gun, and play heads-up Valorant if you can. That ability was afforded to them there. This should be a fairly easy conversion round because, I mean, the attacking team converts pistol rounds into round 2 wins nearly 88% of the time here on Lotus. I don't see any reason why that would change here.
Oh! I would have just put a hole through my monitor. That's insane. That's going to be Just Danny getting eliminated in the blink of an eye. Neo able to find one, but I think it's more of a consolation prize than anything as Lexington just hard rushes into sight. No time to even think about their actions. A beautiful performance and an insane wide swing that just dominates, I think, the fastest round we've seen so far.
Easily. And Random Kid is basically the cog in the wheel as well, even after being right-clicked by a classic, walking in, being flashed out of their mind. They find an easy 3-piece. Could have been 4, but one of those kills was stolen away from them.
Yeah.
And just a turnaround headshot while distracted by a different player. Shouldn't happen, for starters. But when it does, it shouldn't happen multiple times in a round. And it did again. Lexington Senior High is looking a lot better to start off the second half, but it's the same case for Palisades White that we saw in the first. We can easily say that first 2 rounds, but there's no guarantee it's going to continue. Here it very well could.
And able to find one, giving Palisades the numbers advantage they needed for quite a while here. 5v4, but they have to make sure they don't squander it. Wide swing out. This could be detrimental if Ant doesn't check that left side once more. Gets in some damage, but nobody's fall except for his own. Lexington, they snatch that lead right back.
Player advantage, you got 2 players really low as well, including Just Danny, who is isolated on the site. If you find even 1 kill, it is a dream scenario if you're here, if you're Danny. But Wingman being thrown out, you shouldn't even be able to find that denial. That's an okay trade. Asparagus, however, was the only full HP player remaining for Palisades, so it's 2 one-shot duelists against 3 separate role players on Lexington Senior High.
Nah, they win these.
I've seen it happen before, and with Lord of Whatever not pulling the trigger, wait a second, it's become reasonable, but no headshot. It would have been a headshot that could have turned things around. Missed bullet entirely, and Lexington Senior High are 1 away from tying it.
I was hoping that would have been such a cool clip, but unfortunately, it does not work out quite like they wanted it to at a time like that. Lexington, they've brought us within 1 round for the first time. Oh my goodness, for the first time since the first round.
Basically as close as it's been in a very long time for Lexington Senior High. And all in all, if they pick up this round, this is supposed to be the full gun round, but because Palisades lost it, it's a force buy, or a buy for next. Ant is buying down to 0, everybody else around 2k. Lexington doesn't have to dedicate all that much to it, and they're actually going to put in a Blade Storm for Random Kid because they died in the previous round. This is perfect. Don't overinvest into a bonus round, and if you're going to, might as well use an ultimate that's going to regenerate in the next couple rounds with how successful this Random Kid has been in this game. Neos may get caught out here. Smoke in front of them. Just a 1 click to their dome. Opening pick, and basically the B site easily take it.
B-side comes through
Okay,
large
bro.
and in charge. Random Kid able to find a 3K thus far. Looking for the ace. Could be our first of the day if they can keep up the level of play that they've been bringing to the table.
4?
There's 4. Show me one more. All you need is a right click and it's yours.
Seen it before. Low HP from distance,
Oh!
though. You were talking about a right click. It was from the bucket.
I got one. Wish granted.
Didn't specify.
Oh,
The old
no
genie
way.
dream. I don't think he's going to find much more passes. Vandal has been retrieved, though. Now you're going to say this. This is... So, at this point, going into what will be round 17, Palisades White will have everybody with a bye. Even though the breach brought down to 0, this saved over weapon that should be kept in hand can be dropped over. Everyone else should be able to fully purchase. Oh, no. Silo, why? Now Ant has nothing.
Nothing
Oh,
on
no.
the board.
Oh, no.
I mean, at the beginning of this matchup, just Danny was killing Random Kid every single round. And now Random Kid has gone from the bottom of their team's leaderboard to the top first player in lobby to drop a 20 bomb in this game on Lotus thus far. I mean, we're 8-8 right now. I can't imagine this doesn't stay this close from here on out unless Lexington really starts to run away with this.
The main problem now, with that opening pick especially, do they clear the backside of the mound? They will. Silo's dead. And you've basically got the round in your hands. This is a 5v3 on a team that did not end up having a full purchase because they lost a player at the tail end of the previous round. Spike plant in the first 25 seconds, make it exactly. Danny finds a kill through the smoke, but it's really not going to matter. 4 versus 2, I would just save if I'm Palisades White here. And you got nothing going to the next round either.
I don't disagree at all. It's something that we do not see at the Scholastic level nearly as often as we should. Wow. That reaction time is absurd. Oh my goodness,
Okay.
another one. I think, no way. Doesn't get any catches though. Yeah, I would have not swung that after the catch didn't come through.
Imagine you find that it's a 1v1 though. After us telling
Would've
him,
been-
oh
would've been
yeah,
crazy.
go save. Yeah, go save.
Could have been cool.
Unfortunately, a wasted annihilation, and you've lost the lead for the first time in the game. Not since any specific point in
Yeah,
the
first
game.
time period.
5 consecutive rounds to open up the second half after the largest streak previously just being 3. Now, we've basically reached dead even, though. Both teams started their attacking half with 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And it was largely off the back of some early mistakes from the defensive team. Now, Palisades can come back into this, sure, but they need a lot of help. And I honestly don't understand that fault line, because you're not rushing off the back of it. Danny needs to get out. You've already used your tailwind, and you're dead. I think
it's a scare tactic. I think it was just to get the read, to force them to not be able to push into the speed that you know they want to. And I think you get a little bit of intel off of it. No way. Right between them. Oh my goodness.
Flank kill
That's
with
tough.
Sheriff.
No way.
And-
How is Palisades even keeping this close?
Wait, the reason they keep it close is because they were all distracted with Silo. There was only one player on the site, so there wasn't an immediate trade potential. Now, Palisades White does have Neo with From the Shadows. If I'm Neo here, I'm using it, I'm going to CT of C, or I'm sprinting in that direction. I wouldn't use a Shrouded Step to get there, but now you got a 1v3. It is anybody's best guess as to where the spike is planted. Now, anybody that's in the game, not us, because we've got X-ray vision. But this is basically a done deal. It is spike plant, and if I'm the Omen, I'm back into the circadian rhythm of, oh yeah, let's save for next. I'm not in a round, I should be winning. Already made a sound cue. Jet should be looking 3, 2, didn't even have that long to count. 3-piece for Random Kid, and double digits for Lexington Senior High after being down 4 at the half.
I mean, that is amazing. To be down 4 at the half and not allow your opponent to win a single round once you swap sides. Breathtaking performance thus far. Now within 3 of walking away with a victory and wrapping this game up, I'll be honest, a little bit quicker than I was anticipating coming into this.
Actually, I would have told you this is going to be a fairly quick game when we started out 5-0. But not
No,
for
exactly,
Lexington Senior
exactly.
High. Now, I would have told you, oh yeah, they're probably going to win like 13-4, maybe a Lexington Senior High pistol round.
I said quicker, didn't I? My fault. I meant to say longer game than I expected.
Oh, okay. I was expecting it to be pretty quick. I'm be honest, but
Yeah.
not this quick of a comeback. Let's put it that way. Thrash straight through. I think it did get dropped, so no further effect. And nobody sees them on this thing. A gun model kills Random Kid. How in the world is Asparagus left to live and even find a kill? If you need a way back into the game, a view model kill is probably the best way to do it, because you'll have no idea that's the reason you lived. Inumaki has a 1 versus 3 in front of them, but a Blade Storm around the corner will be their final reckoning. 1 round
a lot of
game
damage
again.
done, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm definitely curious to see if Palisades can put us back into a tied-up game again, or if instead they're going to kind of find themselves walking away with a bit of a loss on the board. Regardless, I'm definitely impressed by Lexington's performance to stay so vigilant, the resilience to come through this late into a game, to stay with that positive mental attitude, being down 5 rounds at one point. It's definitely impressive.
All in all, this is probably the round that will decide how the remaining 3 or 4 could very well go.
It'll decide if we go into overtime, basically.
Did anybody catch... I don't know if that caught anybody on the defensive side. It
I
looked
don't
like
think
it
it
did. No, it did. Jawan killed Ant, so it did go for a 1-for-1 trade. Decent opening if you're Lexington Senior High, but you need a lot more out of it, and that's how you find it. Neo down. Jet is the only one available on site. Needs a kill, can't find it. T with a double. And that very well could be the game.
Oh!
Why are you getting over-aggressive, though? You've got a 4v2!
Because he had a double. You nailed it. That's exactly why. Knew he could wide swing this corner, try to find a triple, and just wasn't able to do so. Lord of Whatever, though, picks up an elimination of their own. A pretty pivotal time to be doing that, and I think it should be working well for Lexington, unless Silo gives us the performance of a lifetime. Starting right there, 10 HP, 1 player down. Should go for the fake. Gets to vulnerability. No wide swings quite yet, though. Yeah.
Decent idea. Gotta say, not the most absurd idea with the paint shells. Problem is, when you're on 10 HP and your opponents really haven't been hit, those paint shells are not as intimidating with the opening explosion as you may think they would be. And I told you that round could be the difference maker for the tail end of this game. Here's exactly why. Look at the purchase on the Palisades white side. I count 2 Vandals and 3 Classics with a couple players picking up some shields. They will buy a little bit more than that, but really nothing to write home about. Lexington Senior High could put the final nail in what would be an already economic booming coffin. And Palisades White just really doesn't have a response.
No response on the board. Palisades, they have that rolling thunder. If Ant can get the read that somebody's coming out early, that they can play that hyper-aggressive play style, it could benefit them well. I mean, of course, Ant doesn't know how many people they're staring down, but it could be really beneficial to go for that hyper-aggressive play style. Instead, it's going to be a 1-1 trade, a little bit sloppy on both sides, if I'm being honest, but as long as the numbers are even, Lexington's in a good boat to stay alive.
Random kid walking all the way through, though. I'm not sure if they're clear this. They will! Silo, what?
Finally
foresight.
learning.
And the paint shells to the back of sight, that does a lot of damage. So now the overzealous Inumaki, they will try and res themselves, but they need to find some damage. Double headshot on Lord of Whatever through the wall puts them to basically 1 HP. Now Inumaki's back into the fight. They get just as over-aggressive and die the exact same way. Outlaw for 1. You need a second immediately here on 7 HP. You find a body shot, but not anything for finality. T on low health themselves is confused between 3 separate fights. And Palisades White bring back themselves into this game, make it a 1-round game again, and they've reached the litmus test of double digits.
Definitely surprised to be seeing this level of hyper-aggression coming out from Palisades at no ultimate expenditure. I thought it was going to be a little bit sloppier on their side, but they're still able to find some pretty impressive performances through and through. It's going to be Silo with an Odin, 20 bomb, the first on the side of Palisades. We see Lord of Whatever, only 1 elimination away, as is just Danny. And whichever team wins this, I mean, if Palisades wins this, I feel like we're going to overtime. If Lexington wins this, I think we'll be wrapping things up in just a couple of rounds here.
I've been saying this for like the last 3 rounds, though. It has gone the perfect storm of ways for everybody to be able to buy in most of these previous rounds.
That's true.
It has been very good Valorant, only because of how the economic situation has fleshed itself out. Tour de Force has been utilized, instead of purchasing in an extra rifle. So they will try and just send this straight through to A. 2 players on the site, another waiting around towards the tunnels, trying to clear out Danny. They can't do so. Make it a double for Danny. And he's already re-upped his Blade Storm, sorry, the Tailwind, because he initiated it originally before either of the opening 2 kills. Flawless round for Palisades White. Everybody, or near everybody, gets involved, and we're tied at 11 at the tail end of Lotus.
Well, I feel confident in my prediction that I said if Palisades wins that, we're going to overtime, and I think we might be seeing that pretty likely here. It's going to be all rifles on the board once again, and we see a lot of aggression coming through one way or another. I think Palisades White going into this matchup it's going to be fascinating.
So 11 each, 25 to 21 are the kill totals for the, we'll say, notable duelists on each team. However,
Sure.
for Palisades White, it is both duelists that are notable, each of them at 21 kills apiece. Now into the second half on this defensive side, and Lexington Senior High has picked, I think, the worst storm of sites to go into. Neo, I don't know if they're going to be cleared here. T needs to look to their left on their way through. Nobody saw where that smoke came from. Only we get that vision. No one clears the Omen. Everybody check your corners, and that's exactly why Neo finds a double. Is finally taken out by Lord of Whatever, but an Odin up from heaven. Talk about gods. Silo becomes one to send them on towards what will almost certainly be match point. Inumaki in a 1 versus 3, and they do not have their res available.
No, I don't think Inumaki walks away with this one. No. This would be the most impressive single performance from a player thus far. It's going to be 1 down. You take a little bit of damage. I'm still not feeling confident. Maybe Palisades double solo swings, and we see Inumaki able to get that pick, but yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. As anticipated, it's going to be that late swing costing them a little bit of hyper-aggression, going to be not exactly in their favor.
Nice 3-piece for Silo there. Basically set up entirely by Neo, courtesy of the Omens just sitting in the corner. I do want to point out, I did that last week. I was very proud of myself. That's the only reason I noticed it immediately, is because it's the corner that late in the game, you're so overwhelmed with throwing in all your utility and worrying about so many different things, you don't check it. It's been used twice this game, once by each team, and Neo's was arguably significantly more successful. If Lexington Senior High can't find an opening pick here, the game could very well escape them. Rolling Thunder from the shadows, and you've got the Annihilation all available on this defensive side. An A-Rush. They're looking to close it the same way they opened it here to start off the second half.
Silo gets a pick early. Random Kid able to find that trade, though, so even with the 12 on the board, Lexington has to win this one, or it's going to end up costing us this game so far. It's been an incredibly close best of 1 up to this point, but...
Jet in the smoke, jet in the smoke, jet in the smoke.
They don't know. They don't know.
They have no idea. Silo seems to be aware of the possibility.
Spray? Oh!
One enemy remaining.
Looks like OT is indeed a requirement to decide a winner here on Lotus. Ant is going out in the open, but had no idea that Random Kid was up in heaven. Thank you to the updraft. And they even picked up Thrash to try and use it again, just to try and drill the nail further home. 3-piece for Random Kid. That required to send things to OT.
Yeah, and for those that may be a little bit unfamiliar with overtime here in Valorant, you have to win by 2. So we're going to have 2 rounds of overtime, and assuming one of these teams wins both of them. If they both win 1, we go 13 to 13, then we have to go until somebody wins 15 rounds. And that goes literally forever, until these teams were to decide, oh, we go to a draw. And you can't do that during a tournament season like this. So assumingly one of these teams has to win in the next couple of, ideally, 4 rounds.
It's basically deuce in tennis. You win both, you win.
I think my explanation landed with more people than you trying to talk about tennis.
You don't like tennis. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not that I don't like it. It's that I don't know tennis.
You ever played Wii tennis? You ever go do
yeah, but that doesn't mean I learned tennis. That doesn't teach you how to play tennis. It teaches you how to swing a Wiimote and crack your TV and then get yelled at.
I threw it through a drywall, so...
Oh, no, mine went right into the center of the screen.
Oh. Sounds like a skill issue to me.
It was. I'm not very good at Wii tennis.
The lineup. It actually lands it. Random Kid is the first death. Gets dropped by a Sentinel.
That's huge, though. That's a huge pick.
The game is gone early. Now, if you're going to lose any agent, Jet is the one to do it. However, you don't want to lose any player because Random Kid has dropped 28 kills in 24 rounds. You're looking at an average of 1+ KPR. Inumaki, with the return, drops the opposing duelist who's had basically just as much success, but Neo, grab-netted, surprisingly still alive, and actually gets the spike down because of it.
High-value targets taken down on both sides. Wow! And I think that's a little bit of luck on that elimination, but we'll absolutely take it at a time like this. Pressure mounting on both sides as these teams are looking for opportunities to win that pivotal 13th round. Danny has a good swing on the corner. The double tap, not enough to keep Juan alive. Behind that wall, this round might be over. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get up in time. Oh, wall goes down. Never mind, my fault.
Perfect timing on it. Moshing towards the split. Decent timing on that front. Lord of Whatever picks up that kill, and the spike is planted in the right spot to try and play for the kill. Wingman available. Perfect player to have in the 1v1. and it works in their favor. It comes down to timing truly, though. Will Lord of Whatever let their wingman take the reins? No, they won't. A quarter of a second the difference. And Palisades White is on to match point.
That was as close can be at a time like that. My goodness, a near flawless performance on both sides, but it comes down to fractions of seconds to give Palisades their match point here in overtime. That means they have to win now on the defensive round, which wasn't exactly their best performance. Let's see if they can do a little bit better here in this overtime matchup.
We're talking about that attacking side for Lexington Senior High, though. Look at that second half to start off. 6 consecutive rounds, but there's no pistol round, conversion round, there's no buffer here. They may not need one. And Random Kid, wait a second, because they're starting on the jet, you start with just over half, or exactly half, of your normal ult requirement. They are 1 kill away from picking up their ultimate, the Blade Storm, while up a player no less. This is a very likely way for Lexington Senior High just to tie things right back up.
I think in terms of likelihood, we will be seeing another tie-up here, unless, another 1-1 trade. Both Jets have fallen from the match. The wall bang onto Tia. That could be a huge paint shell. Let's see how much damage is going to be able to get done. Literally almost nothing. They got out of the way in time. 2v1. Ant has to go crazy here if they want to win this, but I think Lexington may have the opportunity to win this, and they will. 13-13. We go into double overtime now.
Their third OT. Random Kid really just wanted to drop the 30 bomb, though. We've seen this before. At least I think it was 2 weeks ago, where the team waited like an extra few rounds just to win for their player to drop a 30 bomb. This is not unkept territory for VESL. However, for a game to be this tied or this close late on, I do want to look at the differences in who's finding those kills, though. Inumaki 17 and 20. Lord of Whatever was 25 and 16.
Dang.
On the get-go.
Definitely a silent hero on the team.
I think the only player on either team that isn't a duelist that is positive.
Yeah, I think that may be correct, or at least very close to it.
We'll see the scoreboard between next round. I'll confirm this expression. Oh, no. What?
Surprise.
Guardian diff. Hello. What a return kill, and they don't rush C immediately. This took a while for them to try and take the site. Look at your map. Over towards the C side, they're finally just now walking onto the site proper. Gecko and CT. The rotation coming from door and from the connector. And Lord of Whatever in CT drops Silo. How in the world does that pick go their way?
If I had an answer, I'd love to give it to you. But right now, I mean, we are just in such a realm of unfamiliar territories. Maybe the story changes a bit here. A lot of damage is going to be removed from the board pretty early on. Random Kid able to find 2. Could be a 3v1, but Asparagus wide swings into the ISO on the far side. 14-13 Lexington.
With the spike planted, we just saw a rare wingman interactivity. Did you see that? Did you see the stun?
I did not. I was realizing that Lexington's on the defense, and they won that round. And they're almost a shoo-in to win this one, so I think we're done.
It's more than likely, but Asparagus just got stunned. Now, if you're not familiar with this interaction, Wingman, if Wingman is not planting or defusing the spike, Wingman is similar to the Roomba of Rays, but instead of finding damage, it's a stun.
That was Wingman that did that?
Instead of Wingman going for the spike, it was Wingman stunning Asparagus in a 1v3.
That's diabolical.
Which was arguably more impactful than trying to defuse the spike.
100%.
It was really funny. I was like, how in the world is Wingman's not defusing now? Wait, why did Wingman drop to the recollectability? Turns out was going for the player, not the spike. Seems like me when I'm playing Rocket League. Demo Demon right here. Juwan walking through. They've taken tree already. They're trying to close this one out, and they've got a great way to do so. Danny on the backside of the site.
Ooh. Yeah, this
That
could
be it. 5v3. Neo walking in. No help. Dry swing as an omen. That is not the thing you want to do. You missed the divide, but it's really not going to matter. Anton 1 versus 5. No Rolling Thunder, at least not unless they find 2 more kills. And they were caught out while trying to throw the flash around the corner. Your position's been noted.
Ooh.
So too has your flank. You find a double kill, but it is inconsequential at the tail end of things. Lexington Senior High, what a comeback to bring it back. Palisades White to bring it into OT, and it is Lexington Senior High to win it after 2 full overtimes.
I mean, without a doubt, talk about impressive performance through and through. These teams came out swinging. It was going to be 0-5 to win 15-13 on the board. That is absolutely incredible. A great performance from both teams, but you got to tip your hat. Palisade started strong. They weren't able to hold up to those thrusters long enough, and they fall short just barely in a double overtime.
Random Kid finishes 35-21.
Dang.
But you look at the individual ranks, they're fairly even across the board. Although slightly higher for individuals. Lord of Whatever is what, Diamond 3?
Yeah.
And is that Ascendant 1, maybe? Not Ascendant. Is that Plat? Diamond?
Might be Plat.
One of them?
Wait, it might be Plat.
It's Plat 3, Diamond 1. That's what it was. I confused the two. Don't mind me. Random Kid top frags, but they honestly should given their rank. But it was the more team cohesion on the other side that brought them to fruition. And still, the only non-duelist to go positive was positive by a fair amount, by the way. Lord of Whatever goes 26-17 on the Gecko.
Yeah, it definitely works well on that Gecko. Clearly an agent that they're quite comfortable playing, and I think that's quite impressive to be going 26-17 over positive there. What is that, a 1.5K? It's literally on screen, 1.5 KD. I mean, very impressive from that Gecko. Makes a big difference in the majority of several of those rounds, including our very cool stun interaction, including several plants or diffuses. That works really well, and I think really leans in to helping the team win in a double overtime. But speaking of winners, Time to Light, we have another giveaway winner that we're going to announce right now.
Just a bunch of numbers. 1, 2, 4, 99905. Somebody messed up the Google spreadsheet. No, I'm kidding. This is actually their username, probably on YouTube of some kind, if not inside the VESL org. But 124 99905 takes our second giveaway of the day.
Number.
5 more. That seems like one of those jingles.
Yeah, I definitely you'd see at the end of a commercial for sure. But our second, as you mentioned, of 7 winners. So a big congratulations to 124-99905. A big congratulations to you and our other 5 winners. Who are they? I'm going to name them all right now. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to go ahead and go to break, though. We've got a couple more games coming at you guys in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
I picked a character, and now he has to guess it in less than 10 questions.
Is it from the Mario franchise?
No.
Okay, well. Is it from the Fire Emblem franchise?
No. That's 2 questions
That
right there.
is 2 questions right there. Is it from Pokemon?
It is not.
What the Sigma, bro? Is it a DLC character?
No.
Is it Snake?
It is not Snake. That was a wild guess.
Well, that's true. I didn't even guess about the Legend of Zelda franchise. Are they from that?
No.
Are they human?
Yes.
Have I ever played them before?
How am I supposed to know?
Is it from Street Fighter?
It is not from Street Fighter.
Are they female?
Yes and no.
Is it Ice Climbers?
It is Ice Climbers.
Guess Who Gaming Edition.
Is your character in Smash?
Yes.
I already got you.
Wait, how many characters in Smash? Oh my. What? Yikes, okay. Is your character in Overwatch?
Yes.
Alright.
Is your character a male?
Yes. Does your character have any white hair?
Yes. Okay, does your character have something on his head? It's not a hat, it could be a helmet, it could be a headband.
Nope, my boy is
Nothing.
going full hair locks.
Yeah.
Is your character have anything covering their eyes?
Yes.
Yes.
Is your character Shulk?
No. Does your character have a hood?
Yes. Is your character Link?
How'd you get that?
Is it right?
Yes. Is your character Anna?
Yes, you scared me that I got it wrong.
Let's see who can guess their Marvel character first.
Is my character a duelist?
Yes. Are they a tank?
No. Is my character human, not including mutant?
Yeah. Is my character a male?
No. Are they melee?
No. Are they a support?
They're not a support. Is my character male?
Yeah. Do they use a weapon?
No. Do they have a team up with a support character?
No. Alright, I'm gonna just YOLO this. Is my character Storm?
Nope.
Alright, GG.
Is it Hawkeye?
Yes. Is mine Witch?
It is Scarlet Witch, yeah. Does your character have visible hair?
Yes. Does your have any blue?
Yes.
Wow, Kirby's like little pupil is blue. Wow, well.
Is your character wearing some form of hat or headwear?
No. Is your character from Valorant?
Nope. Does your character have white hair?
Yeah. Are they tall? Taller than Mario?
No. Does your character have some sort of eyepiece?
No. Can you see their ears? Yes.
Is your character Jet?
Yes. Is your character Sonic?
No. Fox.
Why did I put Fox down?
Who can guess their Marvel rival character first?
Is my character a support?
Yes. Is my character male?
No. Ooh, why am I thinking like Invisible Woman? Is my character have one of them broken defensive ults?
A health regen type ultimate?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think that was good. I think I'm cooked.
Is my character ranged?
Yeah. Are they blonde?
Is my character a strategist?
No. Is my character Invis?
Psylocke?
No. Oh, then
We're gonna guess the Marvel Rivals character. Can you? Is it a support?
Do they use animals in their kit?
Do they have any stars?
Can they traverse on the walls?
Is it Spider-Man?
Are they a melee character?
Penny.
Okay, I give up. I give up. I give up. I give up. I give up.
I guess Penny's also not a melee character.
Is it Iron Fist?
Blind ranking Apex characters with Zephyr. We have Gibraltar.
Oh, all right. I used to be a Gibby main, but I don't think the man sells much anymore. I'm putting him in 4. Someone's gonna hate me for that.
Hey, listen, you gotta put it where you believe, right? All right, next up is Fuse.
Oh, sorry guys. He's not a fan favorite. I'm doing this for me. He's my main. He's gotta go
Okay.
number 1.
Number 1 right off the rip. Hey, you, subscribe. Here's gonna be a fan favorite, Octane.
I do think there are some better picks out there. I think Octane's super fun, but I'm gonna put him in 3.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe bet. But knowing what's coming up, I don't know. Caustic.
You know what? Actually, I'm okay. I left room for myself. He's straight into 5. Everyone hates this man.
And last up, you have Watson.
You know what? I think we could give some love over to Watson. I think 2nd is a nice place. She's cute. She's lovely. She's a fan favorite.
Who can guess their Marvel Rivals character first? Is my character wearing a mask?
Yes.
Okay.
Is my character a male?
Yes. Does my character gain overshield?
I will say no. Is my character DPS?
Nope. Is my character Iron Man?
Nope. Is my character a tank?
Yes. Is my character's face covered?
Semi. Is my character Penny Parker?
No. What was your first question?
Is my character
Is my character a female?
Yes.
Okay.
Is my character Captain America?
Is my character Scarlet Witch?
No.
All right.
Is my character Hulk?
Yeah. All right. Is it Psylocke?
No.
All right, I'm out.
Is your character wearing headwear?
No.
Is your character above the age of 25?
I would assume yes.
Okay. So Zarya, right?
Hey, nope. Hey.
Does your character have a serious facial expression?
No.
Is your character big?
I do believe he's definitely one of them. Oh, I just said he. Is your character blonde?
Yes.
No way.
Oh. Is your character from Valorant?
No. 4-3.
Is your character Mercy?
No.
Is your character's name more than 2 syllables?
Yes, actually. Is your character Zelda?
What? Is your character Captain Falcon?
Are you looking at us?
You do something about it.
Yes, it is. God. Is your character Shulk?
It is.
2 of us know, 1 of us doesn't. We have to find the imposter.
Hair.
That is a really good general statement. First of all, I think it's him, but I'm gonna say animal.
It's an evil hairy animal.
You said something very specific. You said hair, super general. Like basically every character has hair. Bro is on the spot. I know that he knows who it is. Gun. He ain't got no gun, chief. Unless he's armed, he's concealed carry. Color. I don't know why he's struggling so much. He
I'm just
obviously
struggling.
knows who the character is.
Spike.
Meow. Male.
Big. Shell.
It has to be that guy. I am the imposter, but is it Bowser? It is Bowser.
It is Bowser.
I'm gonna have this Apex player rank 5 blind characters. Mirage.
Mirage 5, because it's no skill.
Okay.
You run up to someone and just Mirage ult, and there's just a bunch of Mirages everywhere.
Okay.
No
We're gonna
skill.
anger some Mirage players out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
very personal.
Watson.
I'll put Watson at 3. She's not very fun, but she's definitely crucial in close range building situations.
Revenant.
Ooh. I will put Revenant at number 1 with his rework.
Pathfinder.
This will probably upset some people, but I'm putting Path at 4.
At 4.
Pathfinder mains are cringe, man.
Interesting.
They're cringe. They just grapple away, and I don't like it.
If you're a Pathfinder main, you should get in the comments.
Definitely.
And also subscribe. And then finally, we're gonna do Bangalore.
Bangalore. You know what? I think 2 is actually a good spot for Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Pretty solid all-around character.
He's gonna blind rank 6 Marvel Rivals characters. For number 1, we have Moon Knight.
Oh, okay. I don't play Moon Knight, but this ultimate, you get it in like 5 seconds. I'm just gonna go B. It's not. Okay.
I would say that's probably a good ranking for him, especially those onks. They wipe the floor. Next, we have Penny Parker.
I don't like Penny. I think she's kind of meh. I mean, like dives. That's crazy. Like Groot. Just play Groot. I'm not gonna put last. I feel like it's gonna be a really bad one, but it's down there.
Next, we have Psylocke.
Oh, I'm really torn between, is it above Moon Knight or below Moon Knight? And I think I'm gonna have to go above.
Okay,
yeah.
Might be controversial.
I don't know.
I've seen Psylocke wipe some teams, but I've also seen Moon Knight demolish the backline with his onks.
Yeah, I definitely do think Psylocke has like cool abilities. But Moon Knight, you know, you just do a little bit.
Next, we have Mantis.
To be honest, I don't really know too much about Mantis. Okay, I'm gonna put C, green for green. It's not the worst. Mantis is pretty good as a healer. I'll take a Mantis.
For our 5th character, we have Squirrel Girl.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, well, I mean, you got Moon Knight and Psylocke up here, so it's just like definitely prefer those 2, and I only have S. So.
All right, so that means automatically in S tier,
who do we have?
You're putting Star-Lord.
Okay, honestly, I'll take it. Star-Lord's pretty good. Honestly, not a bad list.
So this is our final list. Comment down below what you think you would rank these characters in.
Josh is flying blind. Can I get him to land on the blue circle? Let's find out. Taking off, and you're good. 10, 20, 30. Stop, like drop it like half height. Keep going down. All right, you're good. Go forward a little bit and left a little bit. And bring it back just a hair. Keep going back. Just keep going back, and then drop it halfway. You don't know what halfway is, just drop it a little bit. One more forward, flick it back twice, and drop it. I can't tell. Close enough!
Let's see who can guess their Marvel character first. Is my character female?
No. Do they have the body shape of a human?
Yes. Is my character a god?
No. Does my character a duelist?
They are a duelist. Are they an alien?
No. Does my character have like superpowers?
Yes. Is my character ranged?
Yeah. Let's flip it, guys. Is my character melee?
Yes.
Oh, I'm thinking Wolverine. Oh.
Is he a duelist?
No. We got Magic, Spider-Man, Wolf. Hopefully I'm not missing any melees though. Is my character a female?
Are they a Vanguard?
Yeah. Is their main color yellow?
Yes.
Oh.
I gotta go with my gut. Is it Doctor Strange?
No.
Really?
Is my character Wolf?
No, it's Wolverine. No, I'm just kidding. It is Wolverine. I gotta get my redemption. Is it Magneto? Yeah.
Who can guess their Marvel?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 5 of Thursday Night Lights. I'm still Septilance, joined by Time to Light. We're going to be jumping into drone rivalries. Well, drone rivalries, because there's actually going to be Robo cars here this week. But regardless, we are excited.
I'm also trying to figure out when you will stop being Septilance when we come back.
That's the question, right? That's what everybody wants to know. When will I not be Septilance?
I feel like it's just an ensuring thing when we come back. I appreciate the reminder every time.
Yeah, just in case you forgot. You know, it's like I was when we left, but I also, you know, I still am. And I think that's important.
Yeah, and when we get back into our drone rivalries, we put the drone rivalries as quotation marks because there are a couple changes to our drone rivalries, but those are going to come in just a second. First, we want to cover our weekly circuit, which outside of normal regular season coverage that we have week in and week out, there is still Rocket League and Smash Bros going on outside of our regular season circuit.
Yes.
On a weekly basis. It's once a week on Mondays, and there's still rewards for them. It's not like we've completely exiled them from the VESL circuit. Here are your rewards, by the way, if you are curious as to what they may be. One of them makes me want to sign up to be a Rocket League player, because RLCS tickets? Are you kidding me?
Pretty insane, all things considered, that we nonchalantly have RLCS tickets for the #1 first place winner of the VESL weekly circuit. So, I mean, if you're interested in Rocket League, if you're good enough to win this and get tickets to RLCS, that is, I won't call it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but a rare opportunity that you should absolutely take advantage of, because that is incredible.
And notably, it's not like you have to travel very far if you get this, because it's at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. June 28th and June 29th. If anybody's curious or you want to go get tickets yourself, I'm on the StubHub website right now. Tickets are $73 on the low side. So
Dang.
that says RLCS tickets plural. I'd imagine at least 2.
So it's at least $146 benefit.
Yeah, exactly. That is amazing if you're looking at this from a Rocket League player perspective, because my first ever LAN was going to the Charlotte Major for Rainbow Six in May of 2022. And I had to drive 8 hours for that. I wish I didn't have to drive 8 hours. I mean, the furthest drive to Raleigh in all of North Carolina is what, 3.5 on the high side? Are you kidding me? That's amazing for a high school student. I did that a week before I graduated high school, by the way.
That is actually insane. Wow. I don't think I knew that story. That is actually wild. Yeah. All things considered, you've got to give credit to it, though. That's pretty great.
And I got to speak.
You know what else is pretty great, though? We talked a lot about this. I want to talk about some Robo cars. I'm very excited. I want to get into this. Now, I'll be honest. You want my most honest Septilin's opinion? I think drones are a little bit cooler than Robo cars. But I do think part of that is because I had so much exposure to the cars growing up. The drones are new. I didn't get to play with those when I was a kid. The RC cars, I could go grab like 4 right now that I still own to this day. So I think it's a bit more of a familiarity. But the game we're going into, speaking of familiarity, guys, is one that we saw back in week number 1 when I was with Hail Monkey Man. But instead of drones this time, it's the RC cars. So it's very shuffleboard coded, very cornhole coded if that lands. And I'm excited to jump into it. So without further ado, let's see some Robo cars.
We've got 8 separate games for our first round of 2 separate brackets. Archery Kell and Riverside High are our first. Now, these aren't RC cars. They are pre-coded, I believe, to get to this point. We got an overshoot on one side. The coin flip between the points. They won't get the points. They were just overshot. Oh, no.
Oh, that's tough. That micro adjustment, especially when you're coding, is really difficult. The coin flip comes through. 60 points for Riverside on the board here. A big performance already. Archery Kell, big old goose egg gang. We got to see a stronger show up from them if they want to win this. But my goodness, I think Riverside, I'm going to assume it's 3 tries per team. Riverside walks away with a clean 90. Cab County Early College versus NC Virtual Academy for game number 2.
I'm slightly biased towards Cab County because I was also the Cobras when I was in high school.
Oh, that's
NC
cool.
Virtual. Overshoot. How in the... It just cut left and it doubled points. What?
That little bit of a code goes a long way, man. That micro adjustment can change the game for you one way or another. And already a really strong showing from Cabarrus here. Cabarrus, wow, that left shift is crazy.
I didn't know you could do that. Okay, write that one down. Home. Cobras take game 2. They'll move on to our quarterfinals.
We got an explosion. And Star Mount exploded. You know, you hate to see it, but you're coding, and sometimes that big red self-destruct button just calls so early. Star Mount, unfortunately, I'm gonna assume exploded for all 3 rounds. So an auto advancement to Durham here, but also a pretty darn good job. They're able to put 60 down on the board. Maybe we got some refs on the field to see if this one still makes it. Okay, there it is.
I thought we were measuring how large the car was to see if they overdid it. Like
they weighted their car down or something.
Yeah, or made it too wide. That was a new one. Hugh High and the Esports Legends.
Oh,
and we've
another
got Esports Legends blow up as well.
Left, right, and center out here.
So that should be it. I mean, you get any more than 1 point and you win against.
And you're sold.
So
easy on the board here. Auto advancement, but hey, 110. That's solid showing. It seems like you deserved. You earned that spot regardless.
Kearns Academy takes on Lumberton Senior High, the Pirates. And the Pirates explode as well.
The ship has sunk.
They were a little overzealous, it seems. The red button got too enticing.
Dude, when you're within 3 feet of it, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, listen, that self-destruct button, we've all seen Dr. Doofenshmirtz. We know what happens. It always has to have a self-destruct button on it. And right now, a couple of teams learning that. Kearns, though, of our 3 teams that have won via explosion thus far, has been the first team to actually find the most points so far, 130 versus 100 to 110.
Everybody explodes, it seems. Olympic High may very well take this with a lot of point back pocket. They got a coin flip to see if they get. I think it's 75 points, if not 60.
I think it's 60. I believe it's 60.
I think it comes down to where a specific point of your car is positioned, and that comes down to a coin flip. If you land on it, you get a coin flip between that and 60. If you get the correct side of the coin flip, you get all of it. If not, you get 0. So they do get 60. We could have had a rare 0-0 finish, despite the fact they hit 3 times.
That could have been wild. Lobo Berry versus Cedar Ridge. Let's see if both cards actually get the opportunity to play this time around. And it's going to be a yes! We got a game!
They're both really headed for the doubles. Should be a 30 versus a 10. Wait, a
Hey,
480? Somebody get the pro track. How many times they do a 360 right there?
Twice.
Do it again. Do it again. He's doing it again.
1 and a half.
80. I was right. Wow, I'm so good.
That is a good showing. And we talk a lot about what we're seeing kind of in the visuals, in the literals here tonight, but it's important to note the value behind doing things in coding like this and being able to work in manufacturing or robotics or agriculture, or of course one that comes to mind very early from me, although I do believe this is an automated drone, is the moon landing drones or the Mars rovers, the Curiosity rover that we've seen. That is kind of, I think, the most recognizable drone that a lot of people would be able to identify with, or RC, or whatever you choose to call it, Robo card. That's the phrase. So I think it's very cool to talk about. Like, it's fun to watch them play and go, oh, you know, play shuffleboard, but it's like you could turn coding shuffleboard into a career, often a somewhat lucrative one. And I do think that is pretty awesome, a great benefit for these kids to be exposed to this at such young ages as well, the scholastic level, getting this on the resumes early, getting this out the gate early. It's really going to go a long way for these kids.
I would say this, as much as I absolutely adore Valorant and Brawlhalla and Marvel Rivals, I honestly think drone rivalries are probably my favorite part of every league.
I like it a lot.
I'm here, so I get to see a new thing every week. That's a shuffle, whether it was in the air or on the ground, and you get to see so many different ways that teams code it. We saw somebody just go, "Hey, I'm headed for the blue dot." Nope, cut left by 2 feet.
Yeah,
just points. I love the calls that a lot of these teams are making, and there's some strategy behind it. Obviously, you have to code it correctly or avoid hitting the big red button. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated strikes again, it seems.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. We've all been there, and it was a great performance. And also, during the RoboCar rivalries that we had the opportunity to see, we did get confirmation as well. Those RLCS tickets we were talking about are not just any RLCS tickets. They are front row RLCS tickets. So that is super exciting. Even more motivation for you guys to just get in there, give it a try, see what you're going to be able to do. Somebody who gets to walk away with those, and might as well try and make it be you if you've got the opportunity. So a big thank you to our RoboCar friends who are able to figure things out. So all of our great students for coming and playing and putting on a great show for us. But speaking of games, we're moving on to our next one. Brawlhalla is in the wings. These students are ready and waiting.
Yeah, they're just about ready to go, but we've got one more surprise before
they
get
right.
underway. We've got a third giveaway. Giveaway number 3, we'll tell you who takes it away. Again, there are 7 on the day. Our third of 7 is Cool Playa for Real. That's
not a joke. It is not a joke. It is for real. Cool Playa for real. Able to come through, find another giveaway. Is that our third giveaway winner? Our third giveaway winner. A big congratulations to you, my friend, as you are another winner here tonight. Our third of the evening. Now, we are going to have a couple more winners from Brawlhalla, which now we're going to go to.
Well, of all the gift cards, which one would you take? Quick.
Oh, Best Buy.
Best Buy, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
I like the options we have. Steam may be the call for our Brawlhalla players. Mainly because this is our only game played on Thursdays that is on Steam, interestingly enough.
Well, Marvel Rivals it's just free.
That's a good point. Actually, isn't Brawlhalla free too?
I don't know. I don't play Brawlhalla actively. I'm not. I actually, now that you say it, I believe you are correct. I believe this game is free, so that is exciting to bring to the table. Sorry, enough about us and which games are free and on. We've got Mallard Creek Blue versus E. Henderson Green coming in. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be Jinx from Mallard Creek, a very talented player that we've seen thus far moving into the season, so it's going to be a great performance. Okay, we just got confirmation from production as well. Every game we play here is free, so that's based and super awesome. You love that. Jinx still going to lose that first life very early on. Going to be a bit of an uphill climb for them.
We got East Henderson with Mazana as well. Mazana already up 1 here over Jinx from Mallard Creek and looking to double that. They really haven't done much damage here on that second stock, trying to find as much as they can. I don't know how you're trying to play for those off-platform fights if you're Mazana. It seems to be working fairly well for him. Staying up at C, not that much.
Oh, Jinx might be able to turn this around. They've taken a little bit of extra credit damage here early on, which is going to make it difficult when they go into those second stocks, assuming they don't lose their second before man loses their first. Just like that, we're going to be tied up here on the board 1-1. A beautiful showing early. But again, Jinx has a lot of damage to clean up for with that Dragon Lance, though. Very talented, very consistent, bringing that to the table. And I'm curious if they're going to be able to get that second stock before losing their own, already closer to tying it up.
It seems like all it required was a warm-up for Jinx. Mizana has not done a heck of a
100%.
lot of damage since that first stock was taken off the board, and Jinx forcing the issue now. Really with some speed behind it. Finally damage landing.
Ooh.
Will they hit the projectile? No, it just barely misses. Mizana could have had the second stock in their own hands. Jinx trades out melee weapons as well. I like the call. Keep it fresh. Keep it interesting. Maybe keep things in your own favor. Both players on red bars. Mizana almost landing that. Same thing for Jinx. Both players staying alive with the up airs just off platform.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jinx is our most decorated player in terms of, I believe this is their 3rd week on stream. Of compared to everybody else who is usually 1 week on stream. We've seen Jinx pretty often, and I've got to say, every week we've seen them, they are consistently the most aggressive offstage player that I've seen. They'll be out there for 10 seconds at a time, where everybody else is terrified to be out there for 1 or 2. Jinx is very comfortable playing from that off-field, from that offstage, and I think it's a huge part of the reason they're as successful as they are.
Does create a little bit more volatility for their success, though. For most of the times we've seen them, they've split the 2 best-of-3s they've played on the day.
That's true.
No, it does mean with, well, maybe not with great power comes great responsibility. With great risk comes great reward. That reward usually only comes once a day for Jinx when we've seen them. 1 stock apiece here in the first round of this best-of-3 is not like crew battles where your stocks carry over.
Right.
So how successful you are in the individual round does not matter. Both players, you were talking about aggressiveness, playing off stage as much as they could there. Jinx finds more damage though, and already with the red bar there for Mizana, trying to find the offstage damage. Can't find it there. They're starting to have that bar come redder and redder. 1 hit, it could end it.
Manzana really going to be caught off stage, tossed up and away. It's going to be Jinx with the cleanup there. The 1-point win. The differential does come through for Jinx. They've got to do it a second time, though, which is a lot easier said than done.
Picking Scarlet early there if you're Jinx. I like the call. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to the Scarlet for round 2.
I like it. I like it.
Especially with the little kit you have, going into round 1, you're kind of playing a little bit more even overall. Here's the change for Mizana onto the Onyx. A little bit more shield means that those crits that Jinx hit become a little less impactful. I like the call. I wouldn't be surprised if Jinx switches because of it, but at the same time, keep with what's working. Keep the mobility, keep the high damage output.
No, instead, we might be swapping. No? Oh, we don't know yet. Okay, hold on. A little bit of patience goes a long way at a time like this. Deanna versus Scarlet, though. You just take a look at the general kind of overall, and you see Deanna is going to be a little bit more consistently well-rounded, a Luigi style player, if you will. But Scarlet is just going to come out with that hyper damage. Going to be a little bit slower, but clearly that wasn't slowing Jinx down in the slightest. They go for those heavy hits. They go for that offstage gameplay I talked about. If you're playing offstage, you need to make sure you're hitting hard, just like Scarlet does.
Couple bands later, we've got our platform to play on. So consistency for Jinx, a very big change from Xana. They originally were going to go to the Onyx, then swapped 3 or 4 more times, and they finally landed on Deanna. I would not be surprised if this is just a sweep for Jinx, though. They say consistency is key. Confidence on your own legend could be as well. Jinx already picking up. Already with the melee, was looking for the off-air already.
Jinx able to get a little bit of damage there, but I'm definitely noticing with the Deanna switch here, that bow comes out, it's going to be really easy to play mid to long range. Jinx plays mid to close, so it's going to be really easy to zone Jinx out. The issue with that is you have to get stage control, which Jinx doesn't let anybody do except for themselves. So I do think Manzana is going to find a really difficult circumstance becoming confident in this mid-game stage, mid-stage gameplay, excuse me. But notice how as soon as they get Jinx off stage, it's going to be a lot harder for Jinx to recover. They're able to do it this time, taking a lot of damage in the process, just ever so slightly losing the damage threshold lead until they tie it right back up. I think this is going to be a really close. I take your stock, you respawn, come back and take mine immediately.
It may very well be the same thing we had back on round number 1. The problem is, for Mizana, you have a requirement before being able to find your early success, and that requirement is getting Jinx more than likely off the stage. So Jinx does find the first stock in their favor and trades out a couple melee weapons to make sure Mizana doesn't pick up their own success. May not be all that much long-winded, though. The more damage you find here if you're Jinx, the better this second round of the best of 3 will go, and you're finding so much more than Mizana was really planning for.
Dragonlance comes out once again. Jinx barely in the lead. I mean, it's every move comes with bated breath at a time like this, because every hit you take could be your last, just like that. Deanna able to find that second stock, but took so much extra credit damage. It really could end up costing them this match unless they can find a 0 to death on Jinx here.
I don't think we're even seeing damage put through by that bow and arrow either. I don't know if a single one of those arrows landed for Jinx, who's just been much more mobile on this Scarlet. And I don't think Mizana's really found the way to shut that down. If we were seeing more of a shielded or defensive legend for Jinx, maybe this pick works for Mizana, but I don't know if this one will. Already low in that second stock, there's some damage put through. Finally, something starts to go their way. But you were talking about that Dragon Blade, already finding it again for Jinx.
Oh, good spot dodge. Able to get Jinx up into the air there. Finding that aerial play could be beneficial, but unfortunately the follow-up from Manzana does not come through as cleanly as we'd like to see. You get a little bit of damage on the board. You're able to keep the game close, but you're definitely still in a damage deficit. The blast into the top right falls a wee bit short at a pivotal moment. And both players now rapidly approaching that depth zone.
How in the world hasn't put off? There we go. As soon as I bring up the
fell
fact
for
they
it.
hadn't. Yeah, it seems like it. Finally, Jinx hit it. And Jinx was on the lower side of that fight, too. Just off the platform. Had to go up air to try and find it. Now low for Jinx towards that death zone. They found at least decent damage before losing that second stock. The Akimbo blasters for Mizana seem to be working much better here than the bow and arrow was, but you still need to play that much longer distance fight, and you're still not finding that. Picking up the same melee weapon again as Jinx, although a little overzealous off the platform there, costs him, well, more than likely be that second stock. Maybe?
Yeah,
Wait a second.
I think Jinx almost guaranteed loses the second stock. I think it's going to be really difficult to get back into the main stage without taking a single hit of damage. When your knockback percentage is that high, it's going to be really easy to take you out with just a flick in the ribs and send you into that blast zone. We see Jinx really losing the combo game here early on, maybe getting a little bit nervous. You talk about how Jinx is a player that we see somewhat often tend to break even at a time like this, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again here.
There's that combo that Jinx was finally looking for, though, and getting that stage priority could be the difference maker. Mizana sent straight down. Will they survive?
Oh, no
Jinx
way.
Won't let him back up. Scarlet goes 2-0 against two separate legends, and it's Jinx to win the 2-0 best of 3 to open up our day of Brawlhalla.
Yeah, so now Jinx goes ahead and gets an opportunity to take a break because they were able to win that one. We're going to see Manzana versus Celestius from STEM EC coming in next. So I don't know, Manzana brings out a couple of champions there. They both look pretty good, but unfortunately just not able to find it against Jinx. But I think if you can hold your own that well against Jinx, who's a pretty consistent player, that Manzana could likely win this second matchup depending on how well STEM can play this game.
I'm also looking at that from Jinx's perspective and saying, you're getting a little overzealous off platform. You had a lot of priority most of the time early in those two best of 3s. You let the second stock get a little closer than it maybe needed to be, but you get the finish when it mattered. Third stock on both occasions. You don't even let up a round, much less the closeness to the second round. Looked a lot better for Jinx than I think it did last week in their second round of play. Or, sorry, 2 weeks ago in their second round of play. I did not see them last week. But they're not done just yet. They've still got a game against Celestius later, but Celestius still has to take on East Henderson's Manzana.
Yeah, Manzana comes in a little bit, maybe mental's a little bit busted because that is a tough loss after all, but at least it's a close loss. It's not like we walked out and just got 6-0'd. That's how we saw Jinx the first time ever, was a 6-0 on the board. So you're able to go in, you're able to take them down to last stock nearly every time. So going in, you're warmed up, you're feeling good. Hopefully you're able to learn from the mistakes that you've made going into these, into your second matchup.
So both of them hopefully joining sometime this week. I don't know if Manzana realized it, that they have the back-to-back today. Again, with our 3 separate best of 3s in Brawlhalla, we've got 3 separate students from 3 separate high schools here in the VESL system. You play one against each of the other 2, so invariably somebody will have a break. In that one, for instance, the STEM Early College Celestius had a break. Here, we will see, as I'm looking down my list of players, Jinx have the break. I promise I'm paying attention.
Yes.
But I think Manzana thought they had the round 2 bye.
It's likely. Yeah, it's likely, these players definitely know that they're only, as you mentioned, playing 2 of 3 series that we'll be seeing. So if you don't know which ones you're by, an assumption can go a long way. So we're going to try and get Manzana back into the matchup here so they can play against Celestius. Manzana will be our home player this time, which I think means they will be on the left side of your screen at the very beginning. Of course, they can jump around to which side they'd like to be on once we get into the game. But coming in, it wasn't a lot of champion consistency either. It seemed like they were really ready to bring a lot of players to the table.
No, and you see how many legends you can pick up in such a quick period. You're taking that quick decision, saying, okay, what's the legend on the opposite side going to do to my playstyle? What could that change? And I'm going to say it, that was probably the right decision to switch to Diana. If you have that selection early, if you know what you want to do with that selection, the damage was pretty good, the movement was okay. The problem was you're just not able to keep Jinx at an arm's length for most of that.
Yeah.
And that's a real big problem when playing against such a quick legend while trying to play for space, is you're not going to be able to have that if you don't hit your combos every single time. And albeit, the combos were hit probably 40, maybe 50% of the time, but that other 50% of the time, Jinx just closed the gap and had so much time to work with, because when you're playing a more space set legend, those close fights really aren't going to go your way most of the time.
Yeah, the close fights can be messy against Jinx, who's so consistent with their performance up and into every matchup that we've seen. It's really the player behind the wheel more so than it is going to be the legend themselves. So going in, I believe Manzana just had to take a bit of a bio break, as we love to call it, but they should be back to the lobby in just a couple of minutes here. So hopefully they can show up soon.
Is it bile break or bio?
Bio. If they're taking a bio break, that's personal information. But a bio break, that happens in esports all the time. We're all familiar with what that is.
Oh, you almost threw me off. Okay, we're getting our legend selections. Let's hop into that, see who our selections are going to be. To Celestius, again, from STEM Early College. Manzana still back in here from East Henderson. The Caspian selection, whereas Onyx will be selected by Celestius. We thought we were going to see Onyx in our previous round. Well, we will see it later.
Yeah, it was a bit of a last-second bail off the Onyx, but I'm really excited to be seeing this Caspian. I think it's a character from... Manzana's on Caspian. It's Celestius on Onyx. Okay, I misunderstood. I thought Manzana was returning to Onyx, but no. Instead, we're going to get a bit of a change-up surprise here early on. The Celestial, Celestius, it's going to be a fascinating character to bring to the table, and I'm curious if they're going to be able to perform well with it.
So with Manzana on the board, I'm really looking to see if Celestius learned anything from the previous round. We usually see this where the player who lost in round 1 can come back in their second round of play, or in their second best of 3 of play, because they've had a little bit more time to warm up. But here, Celestius on the Onyx is landing the damage they need to, and with seemingly a roll of paper towels, that's a... They're finding the damage output they need. Almost got the finishing blow there.
Almost. Oh, nope. Still not going to be getting a lot of damage dealt, but unfortunately nobody's gone quite yet until finally our first player will fall early on. It's going to be Celestius with a 1-stock advantage over Manzana. Are they going to be able to find a 0 to death? No. Instead, going to have to return to center stage here. Weapon in hand. No aggressive follow-up. Slow and steady to try and win this race.
No need to rush this if you're Celestius. You also don't need to force yourself into a mistake where you can give up a couple different combos. That's exactly what happens. Try and get a little overzealous and you can cost yourself some more damage output. You want as much done on this first stock before you lose it as you possibly can. Anything from here on is a bonus, and you're pretty close to finding red bars again for Manzana, but I think one more hit and that could very well do it. Manzana hits the final blow they're looking for. There we go. Took him an extra second. Manzana's still on that wrist. I'd be surprised if Celestius doesn't find a finishing blow in the next couple seconds. There's one.
It's just so many whiffed shots this game. Like, they're both going for the opportunities they should be, but instead, they're just playing it slow enough that it's like nobody's able to find that follow-up in time. A lot of spot dodging, a lot of great elimination and opposition of your opponent, and I'm wondering how well they're going to be able to keep this up and running.
Second stock looked a lot better for Manzana, but not as good as it probably could have. Celestius has a very easy way of possibly 2-0ing this one with 2 remaining. But again, stocks remaining in the single round of a best of 3 do not carry over to the remainder. It's more of an ego / maybe confidence boost thing than anything else. Celestius does give up another combo, And I think it's more the speed of this round than anything. Both of them are so quick to traverse this platform on and off compared to what we saw in the previous round with Jinx. It may just be the difference maker.
Oh, nothing quite yet. Celestia's trying to find that opportunity. Could be that last stock off the board. Manzana may not be able to find that turnaround. It's so difficult to come back from a stock deficit in this game. I feel like we've seen players do it so few and far between. And Celestia is just so large and in charge of the momentum right now that outside of a self-elimination, I'm not sure they're going to be able to lose this one. It's really their game to lose for the time being.
Oh.
I stand by what I said.
0 to death. That basically needs to be the case.
Yep.
For Celestius, and I don't think that's going to happen with how clean they've been. No real mistakes have been made by them thus far. Yeah, a couple missed combos. Sure, you could have had a down air or two off platform, but you're losing some here. Manzana is not an easy one to be put off, especially here on the Caspian, but by no means is this going to be a quick put out off that platform. Celestius will be able to close it. Most of the way into their first stock, or their last technical stock remaining, but it is the finish they were looking for.
Manzana once again unbelievably close, but unfortunately just not close enough when it mattered most. Not able to find that victory. I do believe going into the second matchup, though, that Manzana has all the proper pieces to take us into a Game 3 here.
You want to talk about some consistency, though, for Manzana. Back in the first best of 3 we had, Manzana did lose, as talked about earlier, but they did so with fairly similar damage numbers. That time it was like 611 to 450. Our first game was like 609 to 430. The damage numbers have been very close for Manzana. I mean, you're within 100, maybe 150.
Wait, we got the Ditto.
Combos. The Onyx double up. Interesting. Okay.
Interesting indeed. I'm really excited to see how this is going to work out. I mean, this is going to be a lot of defense. These characters are not as easy to send into the blast zone as some others that maybe we've seen before. So a lot of slow burn combos is going to be the name of the game here, I think.
I mean, this is where Celestius could be a little bit more comfortable. They've already played the Onyx once. Manzana was hovering it back in the second round of their first best of 3, but they did not lock it in. Was it confidence? Maybe was it just adjusting to their opponent's reselection? Still a lot of question marks, but one certainty is Manzana's taken a heck of a lot of damage to open our first stock battle.
Yeah, Manzana goes for the Ditto pick here. Going to try to match Celestius' Onyx brought to the table, and unfortunately going to get comboed early on out the gate. Still doesn't have that first stock off the board yet, but has a lot of room to climb up and respond to if they're going to be able to answer back. A little bit of damage dealt, though, still in a deficit, but a heck of a lot closer. And there it is. It's going to be Manzana losing their first stock, only 2 away from going 0-2 here tonight.
Manzana tried that exact same finishing blow 3 separate times, but not only was Celestius not close enough, Celestius was so much more quick with those mid-air dodges out of the way of Manzana, who just doesn't seem to have that same speed, not only in this game, but honestly the game back against Jinx as well. That time, couple combos into an up-air finish will give them a stock regen.
2-2. I mean, Manzana really keeping it close this time. Like I said, I'm anticipating that we're going to be seeing a pretty decent Manzana victory if they're able to keep those combos alive. The first stock almost made me change my mind, but I'm glad that I stuck to my guns here. Wanted to make sure we'd get that performance. Manzana almost, not quite 0 to death, but a heck of a combo regardless. Celestia is now in the deficit for the first time this series.
This is the first time Manzana's been on the correct side of a deficit, I think, all day. And Celestius needs to shore up maybe those combos themselves. Better mid-air dodges the first time around than what we've seen here in the second stock duel. Celestius trying to pick up that second ability. Won't be able to do so, but does at least bring back some of the damage. Do they stay alive? No. Nice finish there for Manzana. They've got a stock lead for the first time today.
Let's see if they're going to be able to hold on to it. Celestius only a couple of hits away from being able to tie things up pretty fruitfully here if they so choose to do so. I said so twice. That's okay. Manzana does come through. A great combo off center stage here, off to the right side blast. So Celestius jumps right into it. The final blow is going to be missed, unfortunately, and that will be the turnaround, possibly the opening Celestius needs, but instead they can't even get close to the back of the stage. Manzana starts slow, really starts to warm up. That seems to be the theme today. Celestius makes it a 1-to-1, essentially needs a tie-up here if they want to try and make this happen. And Manzana opens strong, could already be over before it even begins.
I think Manzana's just making it easy. Celestius is overcomplicating this final fight. Try to do too much when you're at a point where you're in a near 0-to-death guarantee if you want to win, you need to do too much. In that case, they put themselves out of possibilities of bringing it back. Manzana takes their first round win of the day. It's 1-1 in our second best of 3.
1-1 in our second best of 3. Manzana got to be feeling good after that, but you've got to wonder, is there going to be a swap on the opposing side, though? Is Celestius going to stick to the Onyx, or are we just going to go for the good old-fashioned run back?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Onyx doubled up again. It seemed to be comfortable for Manzana that time around, especially second stock is where they set themselves apart, and they both will lock in the Onyx. Celestius, I think the only reason you stick with Onyx here, one of two, we'll say. Number one, that is your most confident legend in the game. Number two, you understand in round 2, and you change something here in the third. I think that's the only possibility for Celestius to take this, because Manzana seemed to have their number once they matched that Onyx.
Back to basics here, going head-to-head on the Onyx lineup. Let's see if Celestius is going to be able to try and find a bit of a stronger performance. Unfortunately, though, Manzana clearly warmed up right now.
Manzana could be the difference maker here in our overall game. This is their last best of 3s. They've gone now back-to-back. Celestius would love a confidence builder going into their final game against Jinx. They still got to win this one. This is round 3 of our second best of 3 of the day. Each team, or each player, technically team, at 1 apiece. Celestius and Manzana basically equaling each other as well.
Oh!
Manzana, Brit, sends Celestius far, but not fully off.
That was a beautiful read early on from Manzana. Unfortunately, not able to find it. Both these players just a hit or two from the great beyond. Let's see who's going to be able to pull this off. Celestius goes back in. No weapons on the board. We've got to go fisticuffs through and through. And there it is, the cannon back, locked and loaded. Not able to find Celestius, who has to go in the mix-up here. Oh! That's got to be it.
Should be, it is.
Beautiful.
I think the projectile hit as well onto Manzana, who was kind of dropping off already. We've seen that a couple times today, where a last-second projectile on a player already mostly off the platform does get that finish that the up air couldn't. But here, Celestius, this is basically a one-shot if you hit it right for Manzana. It is a game of dodge'ems for Celestius. Dip, dodge, dive, dip, and dodge, if you can.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
How are you still up if you're Celestius here? There we go. That should do it. Okay.
Very carefully. A lot of breakaway combos, a lot of delaying the inevitable, and I think Manzana being in a deficit here, this is definitely not a spot they've played out of particularly well, but they started our most previous matchup in the deficit, and they were able to win that one, take us all the way to game 3, as I had predicted going into this. So ideally, we see Manzana come through with a better showing out the gate. I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to see that.
It seems like Celestius is just not giving Manzana the time of day. That's the main change between rounds 2 and 3 here. They've kept Manzana at a much longer arm's reach, and with both players playing this Onyx, it means a lot more for Celestius because Manzana's been a lot better combining those hits. The combos have been so much better in the last round and a half for Manzana, but here, Celestius just isn't giving them the ability or the affordability to do so. Deep red is that health bar for Manzana. Single anywhere close to crit could send him off.
Manzana knows it too, playing so steady, playing so distant, because as soon as that damage were to be dealt, they would go through in the blink of an eye like that. Beautiful performance from Celestius so far, who I think is really starting to tee themselves up for a victory if they can keep up this level of momentum.
Back to fisticuffs. Weapon will come up, and Celestius picks it right back up as well. Both players with that bazooka in hand. But Celestius, again, still with a stock lead here in our third round of the best of 3. Everything is going Celestius' way. And a combo, oh my goodness. What? Celestius? Hello?
Oh, Manzana. Oh! Beautiful read the platform out. Celestius into the blast, so we are tied up 1-1 in matchup number 3 between Manzana and Celestius. And Celestius has to go into another matchup against the player that beat Manzana after this.
And by no means is this a comfortable third stock for Celestius. At least it wasn't on the open, but they found so much more from yellow into our Ferrari red. Final finish could be. Celestius wants it. Missed the double combo on the off air. Couldn't find it just on the right side of the platform. Celestius has so much of a gap. There's a couple mulligans available if they need them. And that could just do it.
Mulligans on the board. A pivotal opportunity. Manzana may find it, though. Celestius has to get back up. It's the triple spike down, and Manzana finds it. A beautiful clutch out moment from Manzana. A triple down air spike takes Celestius down and out. Unfortunately, going to be a loss for Celestius. So, got one more matchup just around the corner. Celestius has to go right back into the fray, out of the frying pan, into the fire.
What a third stock comeback, though, there for Manzana. I mean, you start that down a decent bit. By no means insurmountable, but you take 2 or 3 back-to-back-to-back combos. Separate combos, I might add. You're into red. Your opponent's still on that, like, nice pearly white health bar like they just brushed their teeth. And somehow Celestius doesn't find 2 or 3 hits. They overcommit themselves to what could have been a final blow, and Manzana takes full advantage of it. You said it, the triple down air spike. And Celestius now, they've got to bring things back against Jinx, a player we've already seen with a heck of a lot of success here today, much less on the season for VESL.
Yeah, Jinx has had quite the impressive season thus far, and as both these players are already choosing their legends, I'm excited to be able to jump into this in just a minute here. Ideally, we've got a decent lineup coming out from Jinx. I wouldn't be surprised to see some return to form or return to familiarity, just playing those same legends that we see from Jinx. They've got a couple of choices, but it does tend to be within the same realm of play style, kind of that floaty, mid to close range, very aggressive off stage, as we've talked about a lot with Jinx.
Now, Jinx is in, Manzana still is, and I don't think should be. So we'll have to wait for Manzana to
Oh,
exit.
wait, no, you're right, because Celestius is supposed to be, yeah. There we go.
The same thing.
Beautiful.
I think the same thing happened as we did in the previous game, where the wrong player thought they had a buy. I'm not sure if Celestius thought that was their buy, and they were the first game. This is a very awkward way of running a couple back-to-back Brawlhalla games, but it's either this or we get to see one quick best of 3 and it kind of gets boring. So
yeah, and that'll take 10 whole minutes. So it's a lot better to have a play style like this. It's a little bit clunkier between matchups maybe, but like you said, we get a lot more Brawlhalla content. So we've got Celestius into the mix here, and now we're going to be seeing a little bit more action. The Scarlet is back. The Onyx is on the board, so it's light and fast versus slow and heavy.
So it will be the Scarlet Onyx combo that we saw, or that we thought we were going to see in round number 1.
Way back at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm a little surprised that Jinx sticks with it here against the Onyx. I feel like if any individual legend is going to possibly counter Scarlet, Onyx would be the one. Again, I'll go back to round 1, or our first best of 3 of the day. I'm surprised that it wasn't even locked in by Manzana, but Jinx... This alone could be the difference maker. This is not boding well already for Celestius. Jinx seems to just be owning the early fight. Oh no.
Is this Dragonlance busted, or has Jinx convinced me that it is? That is the question
All of
off
the
the top of
above.
my mind, because I'm not particularly an aggressive Brawlhalla player, so I'm definitely doing a lot of learning as we get to experience this game together with our viewers. But Jinx, just every time I see this Dragonlance, I'm like, dang, man, it's got such a wide hitbox on it. It is such an aggressive weapon to bring to the table, and Jinx just knows how to use it. But Celestius, a little bit of warm-up there is going to go a long way for the players. They've pretty much tied up the damage dealt.
Pretty even now, and I'm not going to say both with their preferred weapon. Jinx does have that Dragonlance as compared to the real fisticuffs for Celestius, but both of them at very liable positions to get sent off, and the Onyx of Celestius is actually the one to have the opening. The real question is, can Jinx bring back this stock soon? If Celestius has anything to say about it, they'd like to just stay alive as long as they can. It doesn't seem like that'll happen as easily, but Celestius has stayed on the platform, if not alive, a lot longer than they should have otherwise on this first stock of play. Jinx trying to send them off. They will. It took an extra couple bits of damage, but they should be okay. Dragonlance picked back up. Celestius without a weapon of choice on their own side. Kind of just trying to keep things at arm's length, but already sent down. Looking for the same triple spike that sent Celestius off beforehand. Doesn't happen here. Celestius could have been sent off basically 0 to death off platform. doesn't happen, conveniently enough for them, they'll stay up. Jinx has been really smooth at changing between weapons of choice. That's been the main difference between Jinx thus far this season as compared to other individuals we've seen on and off this Brawlhalla side of our stream, where Jinx has been so much cleaner at closing out fights because of their flexibility on different parts and aspects of various legends. But here, again, against the Onyx, if any individual legend is going to have the counter to a Scarlet, Onyx is going to be the one. Jinx on red again. Celestius already is once more on this second stock. And Jinx, without that same ability they'd look for, usually. Just trying to find that finishing blow. They finally will. There's the combo to send them off. Like Shohei Ohtani at the Japan opening series. A home run off the side of the platform. And a stock lead. But with already some damage done, Celestius by no means out of things. This first part of round 1, though, has already gone Jinx's way. Celestius had an early lead that was immediately recovered. And Jinx is trying to stay as far off as they can with the damage already done. It won't matter that time around. Celestius finds the finishing blow they were looking for. Now Jinx picks up that same spear they were searching for beforehand, the Dragon Lance for damage, something Celestius has mostly avoided through the early part of this third stock, but maybe not so much. Celestius takes a lot of combo damage and misses the bazooka off the side. Is able to retrieve another, though. Convenience, at least for them, on that front. But it comes down to how long Jinx can stay alive at the arm's length fighting. Both players with similar compositional fights, at least in an early choice. Celestius could have been sent off by the hammer. Avoids a couple different shots of it. And picks up one of their own, but the send down second with the projectile. Celestius is sent away. Jinx takes round 1. But Onyx, the selection for Celestius made it hard for him. Mallard Creek, here in round number 3, or best of 3, number 3, will try and keep things difficult for Celestius. Already 0-1 thus far today, but we've seen a player start 0-1 and then bring back rounds 2 and 3 of their second best of 3 of the day. Albeit, that was back in our previous round. That's what we just saw Manzana do. But by no means is that a guarantee. I'll tell you that. Both players going back to what is the confidence selection. The Onyx selection for Celestius is only 1 for 4 in individual rounds played. They won the opening round back against Manzana, and then have lost the most recent 3. The original 2 were against the opposing Onyx of Manzana. Here it was Jinx's Scarlet. I think we were on what looks like Tatooine. I just saw the Millennium Falcon in the background. Jinx trying to send Celestius off. I don't think they're going to be able to come back with it. Again, the projectile Dragon Lance lands. Celestius already down 1. We've seen this before, though. Crit almost lands onto Celestius, who's able to dodge it midair. It takes a while for that second half of the crit to prep if you're Jinx, who avoids the finishing blow and should be able to get back in time. They will. They've taken a lot of damage here in their first stock. They finished 1. I don't think they'll be able to get back all that easily. You can see the tears from the Scarlet that will send them away. Fairly even here in round 2 of play. All in all, things have looked a lot cleaner for Celestius at the start of the second stock than they did at the same point in our previous round, because Jinx had so much of a comeback. Same case could be. Celestius gets stuck under the platform. Jinx almost got sent off as well, but they were able to grab on the side and at least bring themselves back. Celestius did not have a lot of damage done that time either. This could be a very easy finish for Jinx with Celestius on the other side, who's still trying to regain control of the platform. They will. Took a couple extra Super Mario Bros.-esque wall rides to do it, but a lot of damage still taken. Reminder, Jinx is still on their second stock. Celestius is down to their third. And what would have been a single down air spike could have closed it. Jinx has picked up the Dragon Lance they've been looking for. Basically the VESL player to hold it and wield it to make things difficult for opponents. Couple baits to re-grab the platform. That time it lands, though. More damage done onto Celestius, who almost gets landed by the projectile Dragon Lance. Again, looking for the finishing blow as Jinx, they can't do so. 0 to hero, if not 0 to death for Celestius. They've got the bazooka in hand. Jinx, however, has picked up the Dragon Lance. That could be the final nail in Celestius' coffin. They picked up the opening round back against Manzana. They have lost 3 consecutive rounds off the back of it, and a single blow could make it 4. Celestius gets sent off the side. Jinx trying to land the final. They won't find that time. Maybe second tries the charm. Celestius does get down. Jinx makes it 2-0 in round 3, and will finish 2-0 on the day.
Blink and you miss it. Holy cow. Sometimes it just, a couple of minutes feels like an eternity. Jinx cleaning house on that matchup there. A beautiful performance from Jinx against Celestius, who had, unfortunately, I don't think the day they were expecting.
No, and Celestius, in that individual round, takes the least amount of damage of any loser in this game. And it was because of how they were spiked off the side and got trapped under the platform for their second
Jinx
stop.
classic.
Yeah, Jinx just did not make it easy. And you said it, the Dragon Lance, is it broken? Is Jinx insane with it? Is it a combination of the two? I'm going to go with the latter of those 3. I think it's Jinx is both amazing with the Dragon Lance individually, and it kind of helps the Dragon Lance is kind of broken. But at the same time, Scarlet, a lot better rounded than most separate legends, and with the speed boost that she gets, it kind of makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big congratulations to Jinx for continuing that win streak we've been seeing thus far here on stream. But we've got another winner we want to talk about. I believe it is time for giveaway number 4. So let's see who our 4th giveaway winner is. ZKP Gamer 12. A big congratulations on being our 4th giveaway winner, my friend. The 4th giveaway, you've won it. Big congrats. Also, now that I'm seeing these, I think I stick to my answer. I do think I would choose Best Buy.
I think the only reason I would choose Visa gift card. Only because
you can do it anywhere. It's
you can use that anywhere, whereas all the other gift cards lock you into a specific store.
That's true.
So
that's
if
true.
if I had my selection, which unfortunately I don't, I would take the Visa gift card. But I will just take any of the games in front of us. I feel like I already was rewarded with the giveaway of Brawlhalla. We had a good game of Valorant as well. We're only down to 1, but I feel like we've seen basically everything we need to thus far today. We can just let Marvel Rivals take it to next week. We'll play back-to-back Marvel Rivals games. We've had all the content. No, I'm kidding. We are still.
No, it's been a good week though for content. I mean, Valorant goes to double overtime. Brawlhalla is insanely close in every single matchup, and now it's up to Marvel Rivals to help us go out with a bang. Are they going to do so? Find out on the other side of this break. We'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes.
Rivals character first. Is my character a tank?
Nope. Is my character an Avenger?
Yes. Is my character a mutant?
Yes. Is my character's primary fire a ranger?
No. Can my character fly?
Nope. Is my character Captain America?
Yeah, yes. Your character is Captain America.
Just for them.
Is my character Wolverine? She's a mutant!
Blind ranking Apex characters with Zephyr. We have Gibraltar.
Oh, all right. I used to be a Gibby main, but I don't think the man sells much anymore. I'm putting him in 4. Someone's gonna hate me for that.
Hey, listen, you gotta put it where you believe, right? All right, next up is Fuse.
Oh, sorry guys, he's not a fan favorite. I'm doing this for me. He's my main. He's gotta go number 1.
Number 1 right off the rip. Hey, you, subscribe. Here's gonna be a fan favorite, Octane.
I do think there are some better picks out there. I think Octane's super fun, but I'm gonna put him in 3.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe bet. But knowing what's coming up, I don't know. Caustic.
You know what? Actually, I'm okay. I left room for myself. He's straight into 5. Everyone hates this man.
And last up, you have Watson.
You know what? I think we could give some love over to Watson. I think 2nd is a nice place. She's cute. She's lovely. She's a fan favorite.
Double your win rate in Valorant using this one stim trick. Yeah, don't be like that guy. When you peek an angle, your movement input is sent to the server, which takes time to get there. This is how Peeker's Advantage works. Let's say you're peeking an angle and your opponent here is holding it like their DoorDasher just arrived. Once your movement is sent to the server, it then has to be sent to your opponent's client, which takes even more time, meaning you experience your own movement instantly while Mr. AFK over here has to wait on the information from the server. This means that you get to see them before they get to see you. The amount of time your advantage lasts is equal to half of your ping plus half of your opponent's ping, since ping measures a round trip from client to server. So here you get to see Mr. No Time to Cook 48 milliseconds early. Your reaction time is only about 200 milliseconds, so this is a fantastic advantage to have in your back pocket. So how do you use it? When you know somebody is likely around the corner, go ahead and prep your brain and then move into the angle with speed. If you move slowly, they're gonna see your shoulder way before your head, nullifying the advantage. And if you know somebody is gonna peek you, just counter peek them instead and cancel out the effect, which is how you...
Is your character male? Yes. Is your character from Valorant?
No.
He's got a good strategy.
Is your character from Smash Bros?
No. Oh, Jesus. Is your character wearing something on their face?
Yeah.
Good question.
You only have 6 characters left.
Correct.
I have 8. Is there green in their image?
No.
Interesting.
Does your character have visible hair?
Yes. This is frustrating. I think I'm gonna have to go and eat it here. Is your character Doomfist?
No.
What the Sigma?
Is your character Tracer?
No. I have a 25% chance. Is your character Soldier 76?
Nope.
Oh no.
Is your character Soldier 76?
Yes.
You can tie the game.
You would pick either Reaper or Omen. I'm wondering if you went Sova. Is your character Omen?
No.
Oh, who was it?
Yeah.
Ah!
He's gonna blind rank 6 Marvel rival characters. For our first one, we got Black Panther.
Ooh, Black Panther, controversial, but I'm putting him straight at E. Yeah, I hate him. I can't lie. Like, you all can think what you want of Black Panther, but he deserves to be at the bottom.
Next, we have Mr. Fantastic.
Ooh, Mr. Fantastic gets a lot of love, but a lot of hate from this guy, D, right there. Yeah, I'm not liking mine so far.
Following it up, we have Visible Woman.
Invisible Woman is an easy A. She has been a phenomenal healer, and the only one I think that rivals Luna.
Next, we have Jeff.
Here, and it's only because I put Black Panther at E. My boy, I'm tired of you throwing me off the map. Like, this is not fun. This is not cool. Stop it.
All right, and now we have Magic.
Magic is B, for sure. I'm fine with that. She's not the best DPS, not the worst, but she's still got like a fun kit to her, so yeah, B makes sense.
For our character, we have Captain America.
See, listen, I'm a tech guy, I'm a Vanguard guy anyway, so S tier for Mr. Captain America, I'll take it. I'm actually fine with this. I don't think I'd change much other than putting a F way lower on the tier list if I could.
You can guess their Marvel character first. Is it a woman?
No. Is my character a tank?
No. Is your character tank?
No. Is my character a support?
Yeah. Is my character a DPS?
Yes. Is my character a human?
Not human. Is my character human?
Yes. Is my character an animal?
No. Is my character an animal?
No. Is my character Mantis?
Nope. Is my character moon related?
No. Is my character Loki?
No. Does my character have armor?
No, I don't think so. Okay, is my character Adam Warlock?
Yes. Is my character Namor?
No.
Fantastic, ain't it?
All right.
Ty and Sam are about to rank which STEM careers that they think make the most amount of money. Which one are you guys starting with?
The neurosurgeon. Definitely, because you have to go in the brain. You save lives.
STEM saves lives.
Aerospace engineer is the second.
What do you think the national average salary these two positions are?
I'm gonna say 800,000, 300,000. Marketing managing is like 80,000, and I would say this is probably 90,000. Robotic engineering, I'd say like 5,000.
Yeah, software engineers around the 90,000.
Nah. To D, this one down to C, 200,000. Final guess.
Below neurosurgeon is cybersecurity at $120,000 a year. How'd you guys put that so low?
It is important, but I don't think it's as important as the other jobs.
Did you guys know that hospitals get hacked?
No.
Yeah, and they hold hospitals for ransom.
I did not know that.
And so these guys step in to save lives just like the neurosurgeon.
I feel like Everything we put up top is like hands-on jobs. Hands-on jobs, I would think to be more money. These are like on a computer, so I wouldn't think it would be hard.
Is this changing your perspective on what types of industries that you would want to go into?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to learn more about these STEM careers, head to thenotwork.org.
He's going to be blind ranking 6 Marvel Rivals characters. First one, Thor.
He's okay. He's okay. He's good. He's really good. Storm. So I'll put him C. Okay. Yeah, Venom's better.
Our next one, Iron Man.
He's like really good with Hulk team up. But if you don't have Hulk team up, he's really bad. I'm gonna rank him alone. I think he's like D tier. I don't like playing him. Storm's better, but.
Speaking of Hulk.
All right. Really good team up. Hulk Strange so good. I think A. I'm gonna save my S. I think I have some good.
Our next character, Storm.
Right. That's like insane. She just farms ult so fast. I have to put her S. She's like banned in all my games. Everyone wants to ban her. She's so good. She farms ult so fast. She's so good.
Another interesting character next, we got Strange.
You're giving me so much gas. I would put him A and Hulk B. The Strange is so good. He's amazing. He had good shield, good team up, good damage, everything. Everything's good.
Final character, we got Luna Snow.
Right. Just give me like all the S tier characters. What is this? I guess I have to put her E. She's like, dude, she's S, but like, it is what it is, man.
Okay. If you were to re-rank these.
Absolute cinema, that's it.
I mean, it's a respectable tier list, but put in the comments what you think about that.
Does your character have visible hair?
Yes. Does your have any blue?
Yes.
Well, Kirby's like little pupil is blue. Well.
Is your character wearing some form of hat or headwear?
No. Is your character from Valorant?
Nope. Does your character have white hair?
Yeah. Are they tall? Taller than Mario?
No. Does your character have some sort of eyepiece?
No. Can you see their ears? Yes.
Is your character Jet?
Yes. Is your character Sonic?
No. Fox.
Why did I put Fox down?
Okay. Is your character male?
No. Does your character have blue in the picture?
Yes.
Okay, well, there's a lot of characters standing.
Does your character have green?
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
This isn't good, Scoob. Is your character from Overwatch?
No. Does your character have healing properties?
No. Oh, man. This is an even distribution between Valorant and Smash Bros. Is it Marth?
No.
Oh, why would I do it such an impulsive move like that?
Does your character happen to be Killjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ness.
No. 'Twas Mario.
Okay, now that's a crazy move. Nobody picks Mario.
We're gonna guess the Marvel Rivals character as it zooms out. Buzz? Ooh, Strange?
Buzz? That's I don't
It would be Warlock. Buzz, Cloak, and Dagger.
Alright. That's the craziest
I was
like,
about
zoom
to-
out, dude. Buzz. Strange?
I feel like I should know that.
You should know
I
that.
feel like-
I think I know who that is, but I want to zoom in on. Buzz?
Peter Clarlord. Alright.
Let's go. Let's go.
Nah, that's real. Buzz. Namor?
Oh my god, wait. No,
The
I'm
blue.
cooked. Buzz. Luna.
Wait.
Oh my god, who is that?
Magic?
It is Magic. See the blue
What?
highlight?
More blue? No. Buzz. Thor?
Fear
Mag-
Magneto.
it would be
That's
Mag.
the
That
good.
was- that was my first
It's his little buckle thing.
I'll be going first this time.
Okay.
My character have hair that is longer than their shoulder.
No.
Okay. Could be a hairless baby.
Do they have red on them? Is it primary color?
No.
No, okay.
Is my character a non-human?
I have no idea. Is my character a human?
You would consider them human, but like more accurately, no, not really. She didn't know immediately if my character was human or not, so they gotta look pretty freaking weird. Is my character Fudge?
Yes.
Oh, calm down. It's gotta be the ninja guy. Grisha? That is a Pokemon. Anyway, go ahead.
Is it from Smash?
Yep. Is my guy the green ninja? Talking about Genji.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many characters.
What's that supposed
Was it
to be?
Donkey Kong?
No.
2 of us knows the Valorant character, 1 of us doesn't, and we have to figure out who the imposter is. Let's go with reveal.
Cool.
Info.
They're like dark colors. Yeah.
Female. Why are you looking at me like that?
You don't know the character, I know that.
Radiant.
Chase.
Purple.
Cat.
I think it's you.
I gotta pick.
I think it's guy. No, but I think he knows who it is. I think you figured it out, but I think it's you.
Ah, this is tough, man.
I think it's Ahmad.
I think you're just trying to get him on.
No, I think
even though you're the
I don't
imposter.
think it's you.
What the sigma, man?
You look at me like.
You know what? I'm gonna guess Angie.
Are you? I think it's you. I'm gonna say you. Look at him. Look at him.
What does red mean?
You got it wrong.
You were the imposter. But why are you so man?
I'll be going first this time.
Okay.
My character have hair that is longer than their shoulder.
No.
Okay. Could be a hairless baby.
Do they have red on them? Is it primary color?
No.
No, okay.
Is my character a non-human?
I have no idea. Is my character a human?
You would consider them human, but like more accurately. No, not really. She didn't know immediately if my character was human or not. So they gotta look pretty freaking weird. Is my character from Overwatch?
Yes.
Oh, calm down. It's gotta be the ninja guy. Greninja? That is a Pokemon. Anyway, go ahead.
Is it from Smash?
Yep. Is my guy the green ninja? Talking about Genji.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many characters.
What's that supposed
Was it
to be?
Donkey Kong?
No.
These 2 juniors in high school both play football and are about to rank their favorite STEM careers. Data analysts. As a football player in high school, sports analysts analyze.
I'm putting it
Marketing manager.
Yeah, I like this.
Cybersecurity.
It's important to keep your data. You wouldn't want anybody to like hack you. I would do B.
Aerospace engineer.
I would want to make a plane fly.
Robotics engineer.
I would say this is important for the future because we're gonna have a lot of robotic stuff. So yeah, I'll
S
put it
tier.
as
What type of robot do you want to work on?
a chef. So when I get older, I'm gonna have pancakes and all that.
Neurosurgeon.
I ain't messing with nobody brain.
How successful do you think you would be?
Oh
if you
nah,
were-
you're done. You're done.
Industrial engineer.
B.
Software engineer.
I'll put as C.
I create a new game.
I will move marketing to, like, we play sports, and that's a very important part.
Yeah, we all took that class.
I just picked an Overwatch character, and you have 5 guesses to figure out who it is.
Oh, who goes first? Is it DPS?
It is not.
Is it a support?
It is a support.
Okay. Support, is it a female?
It is not a female.
Not a female. That's
Only
3
2 questions.
Okay, Lucio, Baptiste, Zenyatta.
2 questions.
Do they have some kind of movement ability?
They do not.
So Zenyatta is my only person that I'm thinking right now. Is it Zenyatta?
It is Zenyatta.
We're gonna guess the Marvel Rivals character. Can you? Is it a support?
Do they use animals in their kit?
Do they have any stars?
Can they traverse on the walls?
Is it Spider-Man?
Are they a melee character?
Penny.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to week 5 of Thursday Night Lights here at VESL. I'm still Succulent, joined by Time to Light once more, and we are going to be jumping into Marvel Rivals in just a little bit. First and foremost, we got to talk about a couple of leaderboards for games that we don't get to see happen here live tonight.
Yeah, we've talked about the STEM side of things very often here in VESL because it is the Varsity Esports and STEM League. That's a big part of the
True.
acronym.
Many people are saying this.
But we've also covered a lot of STEM and how it's happened on the content side of things. We haven't seen it actively played on a lot of these streams, but we still do cover it once every week. Lost Rails is still, by the way, at the top of the data analytics board. Nothing has changed. Idyllic couple behind them, and Cat Peaches keeping things close towards the top of this side.
Very close. Cat Peaches just outside of that podium here for data analytics, but I believe Cat Peaches may be one of few players on every leaderboard we have. I don't remember. Yeah, here's Cat Peaches on content creation as well. In second place, just a 2-point differential, so very surprising not being able to pick up on that quite yet, but still an impressive showing. Oh my goodness, an impressive showing regardless.
And Cool Playa for Real is in 5th place
oh my goodness,
on this
we know
and
that.
our next leaderboard. Not only have we seen them in a couple other weeks of leaderboards, but we also saw them just win one of our giveaways, which, by the way, if you stuck around for another couple minutes, there's another one coming. There's Cat Peaches again, that time in 9th. Idyllic is also on this leaderboard, who we've seen on most of the other ones. But Los Reales, on the leaderboards they are on, they are either at or very close towards the top.
Yeah, very much so. Just kind of large and in charge in the back line there in quite a few ways. So an impressive showing regardless here from these students. Cybersecurity 8,000. We've got a tie there, but I believe it comes down to either a player error or like time differential. So, time differential. Yeah, okay, so we've got Los Reales in second place, down from first last week, I believe. I believe they were our leading player in cybersecurity last week. But enough of those leaderboards. Let's look at a couple of brackets. We've got those rivalries, Robo cars coming up next week.
Yeah, these are coming next week. We already saw the brackets for this week, which were fleshed out earlier on. These are next week's. And all in all, these are about as expected. I have to say, Cabarrus getting the bye here is pretty surprising. Cabarrus,
I agree.
Seeing them really for the first time this week, I'm a fan. Again, Cobras, same high school mascot as I had. But
yeah,
keep that in mind. I don't know.
All right, Dan, we've got some confirmation. The players are just jumping into lobby here in just a minute, so we got to get to that giveaway before we jump into our next game. Everybody, let's go ahead and give a big round of applause to...
Drum roll. What a name.
Driftburp.
What a name.
That's a banger.
That's
a banger. Congratulations, Driftburp, for being our 5th giveaway winner of the night so far. A big congratulations to you, and a big congratulations to all of our previous winners here today. But let's find out who our next winners are going to be as we jump into Marvel Rivals, our final game of the night.
Third bans are coming. No, bans have slightly changed since the last time you and I have worked together, I believe.
Yes.
So it's individual team captain bans or team leader bans, and there are 3 per team rather than 2. What it used to be is
so it's 2 bans in 1 protect.
Okay, that's what it is. I was looking at it. I'm like, wait, that looks a lot different. That makes a lot more sense. I like the fact that each team gets an original ban before they get to, on either side, protect them. We're headed to the Royal Palace for game numero uno of this best of 3. Domination is our first mode. I feel like Spider-Man being banned out isn't too surprising.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, I feel like
love him as a character, but playing
ban.
against him, he's such a nuisance. He's such a nuisance. I'm excited to be seeing Bucky banned as well. We see a lot of Bucky Barnes here in VESL. We're going to be changing that play style. We see the Invisible Woman protected on one side, so Kingsbreak can bring her to the table, and Cloak and Dagger on the other. It goes to show how important it is for these teams in regards to keeping their supports alive, because it's really the supports and the characters that they bring to the table that tend to pivot the success or loss of a team.
Get ready.
So we're looking like Magneto and Doctor Strange would be the 2 real vanguards of this combo matchup. I feel like if Filippo Berry can play around the Magneto a lot slower, then Doctor Strange is going to have a lot less impact, but Doctor Strange is a lot more of a flexible vanguard than most others that we see, which I feel like is the reason that the pick rate is so high on most maps.
Yeah. Let's talk about the melee of this team here on CASA. They've got Magic, Black Panther, and Magneto all up in your face, up close and personal. Going to be really aggressive,
they also pick
dominant
Magneto.
play style.
Hello.
It's going to be Magneto on both sides here, so I'm actually really excited to see that. The lack of Doctor Strange on one side is going to make Filippo Berry just the ittiest bittiest little bit slower. It's actually going to be the Luna Snow that makes a big difference in terms of speed. We jump into the matchup here. Doctor Strange on one side, Black Panther already going for a lineup in the back line here. Oh, the spear into dash, a pick already down. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Nobody on board yet except for Yellow, able to find their advantage.
And Finn Bizzle's just already got 2. The thing should not be living for all that much longer. I give him a few seconds max with the supports mostly gone. They have had some extra support with Iron Man getting involved, so that makes things reasonable. They're actually bringing this all the way back. How in the world does A, the thing live, and B, Iron Man have that much of an impact on the fight?
The Thing is the hardest character to kill in this game, and that makes sense both in-game and just canonically of the character. He has an insanely high durability, an insanely high defense. Mobility abilities can't be used against him. There's just a lot of insane value that comes out of bringing the Thing to the table due to his high damage output and his survivability being unmatched by anybody else currently in the game.
Filippo Berry not really putting themselves too far out of position to get priority there. Again, the dive to the back line for the Black Panther. Lucky to be alive here and won't be for much longer, but how does not die? Wait a second.
Jay goes down. It's actually going to be a 4-5 disadvantage for Filippo Berry as they go to the latter half of this matchup. We see the dive from Magneto in, takes one of the supports down and out. The second not far behind, and Filippo Berry, just when you think they're going to pass over this site, they show us that they are rip-roaring, ready to go. Stay alive, halfway done with this first site already.
Feeble attempt of staying alive there for Dr. Strange, trying to keep that shield up. Melees are not impacted by the shield.
Go get him. Don't let him live.
And I'd be surprised while they do let the Black Panther get out with their life intact.
Critical error, I fear. Potentially going to come back to bite them, but I guess we'll have to find out the hard way. Taking him down would have stalled out so much.
Magneto lives?
In the back line. No, he shouldn't. Does he? No way. The stun gives just enough space to get in line of the supports. They get that heal back up. They keep the dream and the team alive. The most pivotal moment that we could imagine thus far, and they're able to find it. Filippo Berry, it feels like they're going to lose every fight, and somehow they just keep winning.
Finn Bizzle down already. And look at the ult difference as well. There are, make it 5, if not almost 6 available here for Filippo Berry. They may not even need to start using them. CISA Yellow should be touching here and initiating OT. They will, with basically everybody, but how much longer does this fight last? Make it now 5 ultimates on their side as well. If they want to prolong this, they have to use at least one of them. Doesn't seem like they're going to get that opportunity, but they will with Cloak and Dagger.
More ultimates than they need. Hopefully they don't use too many. It's the Eye of Agamotto that keeps Yellow in the lineup here. Going to be able to bring the team alive. Finn Bizzle on the cleanup. Gets the 6-6 advantage. Filippo Berry finally lets go of that site, but with 3 ultimates in their pocket, 3 used in that last fight, that loss actually cost them quite a bit.
I'm a little surprised they use any. If I'm Filippo Berry there, if I'm 99-0 first point, I'm saying
try to win a try.
Force them to use everything. We don't use anything. Because if they win it, they've used 3 or 4 ultimates. We just saw them use 4, and we've got 6 going into the next fight. We maybe have to use 12. Unlike Overwatch, ultimates do carry over between domination or similarly control points.
The Invisible Woman ultimate versus the Magic ult here. Archon able to find that first blood. Luna Snow being removed from the fray, and no value found off the back of this Magic ult. Could spell disaster for Cassiello as they continue moving into the next lineup.
They're all immobilized.
I say it, as I live and breathe, the quadruple kill comes through. That is exactly what this team needed. A bit of a light in the darkness there, but Filippo Berry, no ultimates or 1 ultimate used in that matchup. It's tough. They might lose this 100-0. They really need to regroup to recontest.
And instead of having 5 ultimates or 6 ultimates available to you there in that fight, Filippo Berry had 3. They only used 2, and really neither of them were too impactful. You had, what, 1 kill in the backline? That's about it.
Yeah.
CASA was very good at spacing out that fight and understanding they had the disadvantage. Come back later when the ultimate efficacy has disengaged and play for the longer fight. It works for them.
Archon able to find that first blood again, but it's an immediate trade. Where is this maximum pulse? What are we waiting for? At this point, if you hold it to the next round, you're going to lose this round and have to go in and add a deficit. Maximum pulse, such a quick ultimate, a great way to clean up a couple of eliminations, and still, they're just holding on to it for Filippo Berry. I cannot fathom why.
King Von will go down. It is 1 fight in a stagger territory. The Thing should go down as well. This has been a great comeback for CASA Yellow, who honestly, if you told me that they lost this 100-0 round 1 and Filippo Berry didn't use an ultimate, I would have believed you. Instead, not only is Filippo Berry seemingly going to lose this round, I don't know if anybody's going to touch it. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. OT will be enabled at a bare minimum, but already losing make it 2 players.
No, dude.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. That just, you held it for way, way, way too long. You bring it out, you only get 1 elimination. The rest of your team is dead already, and now, on top of that, you don't even have it for the next round, which is insanely detrimental toward the team. I don't think Filippo Berry is going to be able to clutch this one out. I fear this may be a win for CASA Yellow. Check out nearly all 12 players on the site, 99-99, going into overtime here. Everybody desperate to be the team to walk away with that victory, but it's going to be Cherry. That early group swap goes a long way to keep the team and the dream alive. They force Filippo Berry off site, and Cassiello wins site number 1 on our first map of Marvel Rivals.
Due to say credit where it's due, the strangling prison there for the early Groot swap, you talked about it for Cherry.
Yep.
If you don't have that available, that fight is by no means as easy. However, because it was available, and you were that confident in closing out that round, we saw how many fights were taken early without ultimates needed after the original cap for CASA Yellow. And here, with them having that Groot available, they're going to try and probably carry that into this next round. It just seems to close him out after that singular ult use. Now, it did help that there were a couple kills before that, sure.
Yeah.
But everything kind of falling in favor of CASA Yellow. They get 99-0 to start out. And yet, for some reason, Philippa Berry Red uses 3 or 4 ultimates in a fight they had no business winning and really didn't need to win. And
They've swapped the comp a lot, though.
Yeah.
So hopefully this works out well for them. They've gone to the Thor. Oh, just kidding. The Doctor Strange and the Thor. The Hela is getting an appearance. Loki on the board. So a majority of their team composition is going to be changed versus a whopping 0 changes on their opponent's side.
What is the old engineer's motto? I think I've said this every time I've been on VESL.
If it ain't broke,
don't fix it. Yep, there's no reason. It worked at the tail end of that. And here, you already have one ultimate available, Finn Bizzle, and Cherry was pretty quick on building up that prison with the Groot. There's no reason to swap things up. Now, Log did use that Eye of Agamotto at the tail end of that first point, so they don't have it available here, but honestly, they may be just as quick as building up their own.
They're definitely going to want to be quick building up these ultimates, especially as Flip Flopper is going to be able to find the first elimination on the Black Panther here, giving a 6-5 advantage until things are going to be lined up just a bit. Philippa Berry now finding themselves in a 5-4 advantage state. Flip Flopper, what is that, 7 HP goes down. Philippa Berry able to win this first sight fight, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter yet because they got all the way to 99 and lost, and until they win this 100 to something, every fight win they have doesn't matter.
Yeah, I am not convinced until the round ends.
Obviously, it matters in game, but
yeah. Well, looking at this from like the wide perspective as well, Philippa Berry had basically everything going for them at the early part of round 1, but it kind of just started to fall away from them. It was one of those panic setting in type things where you just try and recover and recover and recover without giving yourself time to breathe. And they kept initiating fights without the full strength available. Here, that may very well be the case here for CASA. I like the call to just dive in if you're Finn Bizzle. It's seemingly working. You're just more of a chaos agent than anything else, and it's perfectly functional when everybody else joins you in fray.
A lot of functionality is the name of the game thus far. These teams trying to look for an opportunity to exist, and I think CASA using the abilities that they have, the ultimate's not really finding the value they're looking for.
Not again.
Once again, Philippa Berry, the god of Thunder ult, really helping them clutch that out. They use the Hela ultimate as well. I don't think it was necessary, but if it makes you more comfortable in winning the fight, well then, so be it, because a win is a win after all. Flip Flopper gets a consolation prize on their way out the door, but unfortunately, still falls short, and Philippa Berry trying to take us free of map number 1.
Philippa Berry as well in that fight. Same thing we saw in the first fight. They lose the opening pick. I think it was again to Finn Bizzle. And then they target Finn Bizzle, remove that Chaos Agent, or the controlling factor, the force that made them look different directions, and immediately end up taking it away with kills on the front line. Just does not seem like CISA have an answer once their real problem creator is gone in their own backline.
Finn Bizzle into the front line, hyper aggressive. Here's that cage up early from Groot, able to get a couple of grabs. It's going to be the Hela first to go down on the side of Philippa Berry, and I think a couple of more eliminations could be in the pocket, but the Eye of Agamotto makes it a little bit harder for CASA to get into the mix. Philippa Berry, though, not getting the eliminations that they need to walk away successfully. They're able to stagger, they're able to stall, but nobody's gone down yet.
It's perfectly fine. The more they delay, the quicker the rest of their team will re-enter. And with Flip Flopper down there, the rest of their squad's now just starting to enter. I don't think they're going to be able to easily take down Iron Man. And the more they look up, the less they're looking in front of them. This is perfect for Philippa Berry. 99-0 in now back-to-back rounds. But it seems like the latter of those two may very well be closed out.
There we go.
Iron Man will find the payload they were looking for to finish off the previous round. And it seems to be... yes, it will. Just about 100-0. It took them a second try, but they'll tie things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, a heck of a lot earlier, but a good maximum pulse does come through. I was very judgmental of the first one, but clearly they didn't like what they chose to do with it either, because that second one comes in a heck of a lot stronger. Takes us to Bifrost Garden. I think only the second time all season that we're going to go to all 3 sites of our domination map.
And importantly, if I'm looking at that from the Iron Man perspective, you already have a couple opening kills in your favor to close out the round. Yeah, you use an ultimate when you maybe didn't need to, but I'd rather guarantee that round win when we've seen it built up so quickly thus far.
Archon 22-3. I mean, just a really strong showing, but check out FinBizzle's 24-6. So a couple more deaths on the board, but the damage very clearly still being done here one way or another. Domination is going to be key, the name of the game, if you will. I'm curious if we're going to be seeing Philippo Berry walk out. Okay, with the Punisher. Yeah, they are going to go ahead and bring Punisher to the table. The Loki is back as well, and still, it maybe is broken a little bit, but they're still not going to try to fix it. The exact same team composition coming out for Yellow.
So now, I personally am a big Punisher fan, but that's because I am awful at Marvel Rivals and basically just like playing an aim trainer.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Don't
for sure.
take my thought process behind your own composition. However, right now it seems to be okay. They're getting a lot of the outward damage done early, but as soon as anything goes wrong in the backline, they don't have as much to recover with it. And honestly, Punisher's just not as flexible of a character. It's just not. As much as I hate to say it, and it's probably lost me a couple games, Punisher's just not a flexible character.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that call in the slightest. FinBizzle goes out early, takes a little bit of damage on the board, but nothing falls through quite yet. All 12 players standing, and CASA Yellow getting first cap for the first time in 3 tries.
The question is, do they let up from here on out? FinBizzle does have their available. We also have Strangling Prison just about on the board for the group. You'd love to use that once Philippo Berry overcommit to a fight. You'd imagine that'll come sooner rather than later, especially with Flip-Flopper down. Now's a great time to use it. Your Cherry, and they'll go down immediately.
Yeah, gives his life for it, but it looks like it is going to work out well for CASA. They're able to get some domination out the gate early on. The Eye of Agamotto from Philippo Berry, a fascinating time to use, and I believe it's going to be answered early on there. 2 eliminations for CASA comes through. The domination is powerful and beneficial. 2 ultimates used on the side of Philippo Berry, and they still lose the fight. You hate to see it.
Red Dummy will be lucky to live through this. 11 HP, and they find a health pack. What a turn. At least for the Iron Man, who lives an extra few seconds. But you give up the Eye of Agamotto and 60%.
Insane block.
I think that may be the round. I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot going.
Executioner comes out here for Philippo Berry, but you've got to make sure you're hitting those shots. You take the group down early, could be a large benefit. And my goodness, I love to be proven wrong. Philippo Berry off the back of 1 ultimate, flip the point back in their own favor.
And as soon as that Punisher, we'll say voice line comes out, it's one of those, everybody get out of the way, but as soon as everyone's in the front of point, there's no real immediate response. Looks like we will see the jump in from above. This could be the difference maker. Eye of Agamotto is available, and they'll use it immediately.
The Eye of Agamotto comes out. 2 eliminations, turning to 3. Philippo Berry actually by the skin of their teeth, able to stay out of that slow field, able to get 5 eliminations. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Able to get 4 eliminations, 4 and some change on the board there. A great performance regardless, but Philippo Berry, they just threw everything out of the tank that they had. They have to win this next fight dry. Good news for them. So does CASA.
The benefit for the Punisher here is they're keeping really good arm's length, taking advantage of their kit, and they're not overcommitting to most of these fights. When they need to get out, they do, and they didn't even have to switch to the shotgun on that try. Nice couple of headshots onto FinBizzle. Takes them out. 60%, maybe get 50% on the other side. But this singular fight, if FinBizzle doesn't get back in time, may turn it to 60 or 70, and goodbye Cherry. Groot is gone, so too is Doctor Strange. That's a disengage if I've ever seen one.
Oh, golly gosh. You don't have a lot of time to disengage, though. Your opponents on Philippo Berry already getting up into the 70s here, running out of time to try and make that point cap happen. With a late stagger onto one of your supports, I mean, this is disastrous. It's just a training range right now. They're walking right into it. Oh, my.
What a stagger pick onto Flip-Flopper. Low HP in the back line costs them. And you've got the Annihilation back on the board. No, he's dead! Oh, no!
He goes down. Could this be a 99 on the board once again? The Luna Snow ult in the pocket. Magic Ultimate all the same at the ready. They're just throwing every ult under the sun that they have. This could be a disaster for CASA. They've used the Groot ult, they used the Luna Snow ult, they're going to use the Cloak and Dagger ult and the Magic ult. All Philippo Berry has to do is just wait a second. They get 2 with the maximum pulse off to the left side. CASA uses so many ultimates and they're still going to lose this fight. The Executioner comes out, the Black Panther goes down, and Philippo Berry have guaranteed a victory here on this first map domination.
Play from the return of the Annihilator. It's the Executioner to close it, but all it came down to was survivability. If they all die in the first 15 seconds there, it's everyone coming back in a more than expected attempt at everybody pressing Q or whatever your keybind is for your ultimate at the same time. Instead, what happens is they all live, and King Von is the individual who comes back as the Punisher to try and take that fight in their own hands, and it works because everyone was all distracted with the players on low-ish HP on the point itself, and not so distracted with the player they already killed.
Yeah, and I was so curious about whether or not the King Von's Punisher was going to work. It was one of the earliest comments that I made going into map number 1. Sorry, in the end of map number 1, stage 3. But holy cow, does it work out well? Because 37 eliminations on the board there. 37 and 8, most in lobby by quite a high margin, considering how close that match actually ended up being. So I'm curious if Punisher is going to end up getting banned going into map number 2.
I don't think Punisher's worth a ban, but I also don't think it's worth a protect. I'd say, if anything, it would be worth a second ban. That's the point I'm looking at that for at least CASA. I don't think it's worth a first ban. It may be worth a second ban, and I love this extra layer that we've added. If you want to ban out your opponent, do you want to target someone first and then take a general ban after that? Do you want to try and take a general ban first and then target after the protect
General
could
ban?
already avoid that?
General ban. It's definitely going to be... It's a numbers game. It always has been and it always will be. So things are going to be really interesting going into this matchup. So we look to see if they go for the solo bans. That's what I typically do at a time like this, is that solo ban scenario. You go to take an agent out of the way. You make sure somebody's not able to play a character that they love playing. It makes it a little bit easier for you to go in and get hyper aggressive in that play style. But all things considered, I don't know. Map number 2 is up in the air. It's truly anybody's game, depending on how they want to play it.
I'd say it's... Your individual ban will only change if you really think that Punisher played as much of a factor. It also could have been just you weren't accounting as much for the Punisher because you see it selected every so often and it kind of finds a couple picks every few games, but it only really becomes an impactful part if it's in the hands of the right person. Could be they just want to target them down and go to the backline a little bit more. Here we could see Spider-Man not banned out as a second phase ban and actually selected to try and counter out Punisher. I feel like those in-your-face agents are the real difference maker. Black Panther, I'm surprised we didn't see that try and shut down the Punisher there. We'll see if that's the case here.
I guess that's a good flip kind of discussion as well. Is Black Panther going to get banned? Because there was a pretty strong performance coming out from the Black Panther as well. I think I agree with you. I think the answer is no, but it's an important discussion I think worth having, is he does go in and get a lot of those opening frags. If anything, though, I think we just take Magic. We just get her out of there. I think it'll be super important to try and take that aggression off the table, try to make that player less hyper-aggressive, make them play from a mid to longer range versus that close range, because clearly they're very comfortable on it. So I think it could go a long way to just change up the placement of which agents you bring to the table.
It feels like I'm intermittently casting Rainbow Six now that we're talking about bans or hero bans going into each individual map as well.
I'd love to say me too, but I ain't ever cast a game of Rainbow Six in my life, and it will stay that way until the day that I die.
Good for you. That's
a
thing.
Thank you so much.
Health. Yeah,
thank you so much.
No,
it's kind of a badge of honor.
Yeah. No, looking at this specifically for that reason, it adds the extra layer of protecting a hero. Do you want to waste that on maybe an individual pick? Do you want to have more of a generalized focus for your player? There's a lot of options. Just to understate the obvious, there's a lot of options for these teams. If I'm a betting man, I'd say use your first ban as an individual that you despise playing against. As a team you just can't avoid. You use a protect for an individual that you love playing with, and then you try and target ban if it wasn't already protected with your second ban.
I guess if I'm not mistaken, we have a substitution on at least one side. I do not believe Capstu was in the last map. Capstu, a very talented Groot player. I wonder if they're being brought to the table for that very reason, to bring that Groot to the table. A Vanguard player regardless, so they were able to swap out with that previous Vanguard player. We see the Magic ban does in fact come through versus the Wolverine ban. I'm not particularly fond of banning an agent that's not being played. I don't think that's particularly fun. I think you want to ban a character, you want to shake up your opponent's playstyle, you want to make them shift the composition they're choosing to bring to the table, but a lot of people are just scared of insert agent here, and very often that does tend to be Wolverine. Protecting Namor is crazy. They were never banning Namor. That was never happening.
I don't think there was any reason to ban Namor, I'm going to be honest with you.
No, exactly.
Combine that with the fact that Finn Bizzle gets targeted with that first ban. I mean, Finn Bizzle was annoying, but they weren't like the end-all,
game-changing, right?
Yeah. Is that...
That's a
Black
Panther,
Panther, right?
Protect. Yep, that's a
yeah,
Panther
that's what
Protect.
I thought. Okay. That makes sense.
Punisher ban. There it is. Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth. Punisher ban on one side. Do they follow through with a Groot ban? That's my next guess.
I don't think they do if they brought in Capstu.
That's
because
true.
Capstu's
Capstu's kind of a freak on the Groot.
If you can counter Groot immediately or just avoid it entirely, wouldn't blame him. Did they not ban? Huh? What?
No, they have 1 second, and they chose not to ban anybody. Or they ran out of time to pick. And that hurts. That is unlucky.
King Von went AFK. Skill issue.
Skill issue.
King Von protects for themselves, and then
goes AFK.
Doesn't
GG.
ban anyone. Okay. Sure, I guess.
Me too, for real.
So it looks like everyone there for CASA Yellow is the same as the previous.
Yes,
Although
I agree.
Philip O'Berry, it's Archon who's out.
That's who it
and
was.
Capstu who's in. So Archon was playing the Thing and Doctor Strange, especially third point. But here Capstu's going to pick up Magneto, and it looks like they're going to stick with it. Not Jay is going to stick with the Thor. That's not surprising. Iron Man still kept over for Rhett. All in all, it seems like some consistent keepovers from round 3 of our previous round of domination. So
Dare we say it again, if it ain't broke, not a whole lot of things to fix. But I do think going into this match with the Iron Man is not being particularly contested by anybody on the side of CASA, so I feel like Philip O'Berry's Rhett might be able to get away with a lot for free.
Well, especially because now with the Punisher banned out, you're not even having the direct counter available to you because you wanted to ban out a counter to your own general squad.
Yeah.
I don't know who else you'd select to try and counter out mid-air agents or heroes. All in all, this looks really clean to start things off for Philip O'Berry, even through the ban phase, and there goes Flip-Flop. That's disastrous early. I mean, yeah, you're on the attacking side, that opening pick isn't going to kill you. It'll just take 30 seconds off the board, but it's not helpful, that's for sure.
Definitely not helpful. And I think Philip O'Berry just having that numbers advantage should give him the opportunity to go a little bit deeper into spawn, stagger out another elimination, add 15 to 20 more seconds due to the respawn timer, etc., etc. But unfortunately, no picks actually come through it, so they have to slow down, regroup back at spawn, but that is an entire minute burned off the clock.
CSA just really didn't have much done in that either. Not Jay's getting a little overzealous here. Needs to be careful. Gets shield there from Capstone, that Magneto. Watch out, Black Panther in the back line, though. Lucky to be alive. Does find a health pack, but it really won't matter when everyone on the front line is going down immediately.
Yeah, this is something that we see happen on Overwatch pretty often. Being a backliner does not matter if your front line doesn't exist. When you're on a position like that, if your team gets taken down early on, it's really difficult for your picks to even matter in the backline if you get them at all, which Flip-Flopper has failed to do in the entire 90 seconds we have seen so far. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. The Namor ult comes through, gets 3 with the help of Capstu and not Jay. And Philip O'Berry, they feel the dominance. They feel that they are currently in charge, and they do not want to let go of that aggression.
And
I can't say I blame them.
not. Yeah, and importantly, they're not giving an
No
easy
way.
way over. Great stagger onto Pro.
Insane.
And all of this is just intermittently using an ultimate or two, not overcommitting yourself to individual fights, and making sure you easily dispatch of backliners. You were talking about it with Flip-Flopper. Even if Flip-Flopper was having an effect, which they weren't, they wouldn't have done all that much. Here's that Doctor Strange TP to the backline, but even then, watch out for Spectral Hollow.
Oh, Capstu finds one on the Magneto already. Maximum pulse in the pocket. I wouldn't be afraid to just see him rip it. Gonna dive in here, get a little bit of information. I don't see why we're not using it, to be honest. We're being really really generous with our usages here. Choosing to hold on to it, not gonna keep throwing it out. The team's still able to find the 2-player advantage and counting. Let's see if we can see continued dominance here. 80 seconds left. Philip O'Berry, they're trying to wrap things up quick here.
I think Rhett just didn't want to use it because everyone else was actively using their
nobody
own,
would.
which
We
does
didn't
make
have
sense.
to. That wasn't quite the same as the other times, but it would have been nice to see.
A Cherry, lucky to be alive, may not be for much longer. Low health, needs to find a health pack and has no supports in the general area. They were trying to hide around a corner and they were easily found out. The game of hide and go seek is not very successful for very large built trees. Maybe Baby Groot would have found that one. Not so much for the full-grown version.
With Log and that Eye of Agamotto in the back pocket, it's maybe the Psylocke ult that comes through. Pro is able to find Spectral Hollow in the back line. The rest of the team, like dominoes, should fall now that both their supports have been eliminated. Red able to find one, but you're going to have to find 3 more to make it worthwhile with your supports missing like that. Spectral on their way back into the fray, but I assume the Eye of Agamotto is just around the corner if they even need to use it. Jay goes down late here, or not Jay, excuse me, is going to go down late here. That's going to be a stagger worthwhile. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, CASA should be able to get a little bit of wiggle room on the card.
Oh, and Red going down there. I thought they were going to try and
What?
stagger it out. They will. They'll come back into it. They'll force out at least the Eye of Agamotto, which I feel like is a worthwhile ult
That's
to
so
burn.
worth.
Flip-Flopper
That's so
does the
worth.
same. Wait a second. They, in one fight, bleed out 2 separate ultimates. Yeah, the cap will be given over, but honestly, I'll take that trade-off if I'm on the Filippo Berry side any day of the week because, yeah, they've got 2.5 minutes now on the board, but it took them 4 minutes to win that singular fight, and they used 2 of their ultimates they gained in that time period.
A really clever attempt from Filippo Berry there. They tried to use the Doctor Strange portal for the maximum pulse, but Log read it like a children's book and threw the shield up, defended the entire team. Here comes Flib into the back line, getting a lot of damage into the lineup here. Unfortunately, no value able to be found quite yet for the side of Filippo Berry. CASA really started to get warmed up.
This is the perfect way to start to build some of that momentum. Make sure you take out any players that could create a hindrance. Don't overcommit yourself to a lot of these fights, but if you're going to do so as a team, Filippo Berry, this could be the same thing. You throw it back to the first round of map 1. They were up 99-0 with 5 or 6 ultimates available, and they kind of overcommit themselves to a fight they didn't need to. That feels like the previous fight before the cap was found. Good Eye of Agamotto, and yeah, that's basically an entire fight gone. But CASA, they would have liked to bleed out 2 there. It's not the end of the world. They only lose in 1.
King Von realizing with the rest of us, oh yeah, Bucky wasn't banned this time. So they're able to go ahead and bring Bucky Barnes back to the table. And ultimately use the Eye of Agamotto from Filippo Berry is going to be pretty beneficial. But CASA Yellow coming into this next fight with only 70 seconds left on the clock, 3 ultimates in the pocket. I assume this is going to be a pretty ult-heavy matchup.
This next couple of fights probably should be. I wouldn't be surprised if Filippo Berry is going to take this one dry. They're going to try to, but as soon as they have the opportunity, they'll pop a couple of their own. CASA eliminated immediately, and that could be the difference maker with the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but unfortunately, 50 seconds left. A recontest is happening, and we just used 4 ultimates when we needed to use, I'm not even kidding, I think 1. And that fight was still 1, maybe 2. So Filippo Berry, they won it, but they just used their entire arsenal on the fight that didn't matter even half as much as this upcoming one does. CASA Yellow coming in with the Black Panther ultimate, the Groot ult, and the Invisible Woman ultimate. Gonna be a really easy one for them to win. Unless Not Jay gets all 6.
Yeah, I would say watch out for Not Jay. Opening pick there for Not Jay. They actually find out Pro. And they may try and combine that. I'd say within another 5 seconds, especially with all the damage you've already done. You don't even need finishing blows. They will find it, but it really won't matter. 10 seconds to go. They will more than likely be a touch, but it shouldn't mean a whole heck of a lot with 3 players or so entering. King Von, I think, is the only one to go down for Filippo Berry. And
the
a
issue is
great
that fight
return.
That fight win just gave them so much ult charge. Even if CASA Yellow does retouch, Filippo Berry has the Eye of Agamotto. They're going to have another Maximum Pulse. They're going to have another Winter Soldier ultimate. They've got everything they need and more to make this an insanely beneficial matchup. Let's see if they're going to be able to do it against the ultimate CASA brings to the table. One Eye of Agamotto is going to be greeted by another Maximum Pulse. Does take out the Invisible Woman. Now both fallen. It's going to be overtime ticking away as Filippo Berry is all but guaranteed themselves a full cart stop here. Let's see if they're going to be able to live up to that expectation. There goes one player. There goes another, and none left on the board. Filippo Berry stalls the cart 74 meters in.
It took a fair few cooldowns, and sure, a couple extra ultimates. But all in all, clean finish for Filippo Berry after things looked really concerning for them. I'm going to say it, before the fight they won to stop the cart where it was, I was thinking Filippo Berry's going to give up second cap at least, and maybe even the map completion. Because it just felt like they were scrambling and scrambling and scrambling. Same thing as it was round 1 of our first map of domination, where they didn't really have an answer to the at least early comeback of CASA Yellow. Now, Philip O'Berry did end up shoring things up and winning rounds 2 and 3. Round 2 even was 100-0, clean as you please. But here, this second map, and thus the best of 3, could very easily end in the span of maybe 3 minutes, if they do it right.
I want to see if... I want to see if Philip O'Berry gets a little bit too overzealous here, if they get a little bit too confident in their potential performance, and if it ends up costing them. Because if they go in hyper-aggressive and they begin to snowball, it really could be detrimental to the rest of their performance moving into this.
Now, the benefit is, if you do it first fight, it's not going to cost you all that much. All it'll do is maybe give your opponent quicker ult charge to the first fight. If you do it on the defensive side, it's much more disastrous. It can probably cost you the entire game. But the attacking side, similar thing to what we saw for CISA Yellow. They lost that first fight. It only cost them a minute.
Yeah.
If Philip O'Berry can win the opening fight, amazing. If they lose it or it takes a little bit too long, that's where things could start to get out of their hands. Because fight 2, fight 3, that possibility can get away from them.
Philip O'Berry losing 30 seconds already, but luckily all 6 players still up and standing. A lot of ultimate charge on their side, much more than CASA Yellow. Penny Parker making an appearance here on the first time. Cherry goes in with it, gets a trap onto King Von, who's playing the Groot. I complimented on the side of Capstu so often, but they're going to be on the Black Panther instead. 2 players down for Philip O'Berry.
And just to disengage, this should be the backup. There's no reason to stick around. It doesn't seem like... Yeah, Capstu gone. That should force them to back away. I don't even know why they're staying in this fight, if not just to build up some healing extra. Why does it feel like they're all just stuck there and somebody unplugged their keyboards? Am I missing something? Did you see that? There were 2 players just standing in the open.
Yeah, perhaps we are missing something. Perhaps they're going for a bit of a tactical reset, maybe trying to get eliminated early on, or just waiting for the rest of the group. Maybe they're focused more on comms than movement. It could be a lot of things, quite admittedly. But right now, Philip O'Berry, they are up by 1, and they're not really capitalizing on that. Now they absolutely need to be. The Black Panther has fallen. They can get hyper-aggressive. They need to keep their group up and running, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to see that aggression coming into this next fray.
They walk straight in. CASA's getting dispatched of. Log needs to live, and they won't. Flip Flobber is gone.
Flip Flobber's just waiting. They recognize the lack of value in just diving in and feeding ult charge. Maximum Pulse is going to be able to guarantee that space for Philip O'Berry, who now have 4.5 minutes to move 74 meters, and if they do, we are done here today.
It's, what, 2 fights maybe?
Maybe.
That depends on how long that second fight lasts. Yeah. King Von trying to make things difficult immediately.
I want to see that Bramble Cage go up, though. Rhett has fallen. I'm going to see if they use ultimates to make up for that missing Iron Man, or if instead they use the time that they have to wait for him to return. So many players low. Psylocke ult comes in. Wings are out. The Groot is up, and Casa Yellow is down. Philip O'Berry, they now have a 2-player advantage going into the rest of this fight. If King Von goes down, though, could be a tide turner.
It is. It's drawn to even, but the opening death was Rhett's, and he's just now re-entered the fray. Makes it a little bit more reasonable for Philip O'Berry, really turning things into a 5-on-5 once more. Trying to take out the Eye of Agamotto wielder, but how quickly can they dispatch of Doctor Strange, and maybe dispatch of this second map in a 2-0. Low HP for Doctor Strange, who finally does go down, and we're looking at 1-fight territory.
I fear that may have been last fight territory, especially if they get the staggers here in the back line just like this. These players have fallen. We're already at 50 meters, only 20 to go before things are over. It's going to be spider time, but the Fortnite walls go up, and Penny Parker is going to be boxed in with this Groot. Capstu, or no, see, I'm so used to being Capstu. King Von able to find that damage. Penny Parker has fallen. The tank is missing. The Vanguard is gone. Philip O'Berry, they just won.
Walking it in. Doctor Strange has touched, at least made it difficult, but they have already used their ultimate in the previous fight. They don't have it available here, and they won't have it available. They are somehow still alive, getting absolutely focused by their own backline. There's only so long you can do that for if you're Casa Yellow, and that'll end up doing it for them. Good return immediately for Cherry the Fox, but they get stuck in tow. That will just about do it. Kurilo was the last one alive, and they had just respawned. 2-1, the final score of Map 2. 2-0, the score of the best of 3. Philip O'Berry Red takes it.
Philippo Berry Red able to find a victory here on stream tonight. A great one at that. Map number 1 doesn't exactly go in their favor the entire time, but they are able to find some great performances off the back of it. No surprise here, our MVP gonna be King Von there on the Groot. 41-6. Most elims on the opposing team, 15.
I don't know how you find 41 elims when you play defense for the primary part.
Very carefully.
I mean, it seems... King Von also didn't die all that many times, going back to map 1 either.
Yeah.
There were a couple players for Philippo Berry Red who just kind of avoided the end stage of most of the fights that had already concluded, albeit it was a backliner who really didn't have to be in the front side of most of these fights, but it made a lot more sense for Philippo Berry to take those early, and on their attacking side they did. Believe it or not, every single person for Philippo Berry had more elims than the highest eliminator there on the CAS.
That is pretty wild. And Philippo Berry, they do a great job finding themselves victorious in a matchup that really does matter when we get down to it. But they're not even our final victors of the night, because we've got our giveaway number 6 winner, who is...
Say it. Say it.
Numano.
There you go.
Numano. Sorry, I had to make sure I was going to say it right. This is all on broadcast. Big congratulations, though, to Numano for being our 6th and not quite final winner of the night, because time to light, there may be a 7th.
There is a 7th. We told you there were 7 coming. Numano maybe was the only the prefix of the longest word in the English language, which I both know how to spell and won't say.
Oh,
however,
of course. No, you and me both.
Very smooth.
We do have our 7th winner, but that, of course, is going to be our live winner to celebrate somebody who is here, who has been here all day with us, who has been a part of the broadcast, a part of the stream, a part of the comments, however they may be appearing to y'all. And hopefully, we're going to announce which one of you that is in just a couple of minutes. But I've got to say, I think across today, some of the best games we've seen all VESL season. And what a good day for somebody by the username of Godly to be our 7th and final winner. So you got to see good Valorant, good Brawlhalla, good Marvel Rivals, good Robo cars, and now you get to be our 7th and final winner. What a better way to wrap up the night than that.
I feel like it's a great way to close out our Thursday Night Lights. Godly gets our 7th cup of the day, or 7th gift card of the day. We'll say cup for the victory. But all in all, a successful day, I feel like, of VESL action. I feel like Valorant was probably the best individual Valorant game, at least I've seen. I don't know how things have gone specifically for you and Mr. Hail Monkey Man over there. But
no, that was probably the best
was pretty close. All in all, most of the individual rounds of Brawlhalla were close, despite the fact that 2 of the 3 games were 2-0s. And Marvel Rivals, at least map 1 was pretty concise. Map 2 kind of got out of hand, but it seems like somebody had dinner to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of, I have dinner to get to, so we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here at Thursday Night Lights, week number 5. Thank you all so much for watching. We love each and every one of you. Check your posture, drink some water. Don't forget to love each other, and we'll see you guys next week.